Two of the hottest teams in the Western Conference collide on Vancouver Island to start a home-and-home showdown. Against the top team in the WHL, the Victoria Royals hit the 100-point plateau for the first time in franchise history. Now with 2 games left to go, hope still lingers in their chase of 50 wins. The Everett Silvertips hit the BC Capital, ending the season the way they started it. On a tear, the Silvertips are in hot pursuit of home ice advantage in the upcoming playoffs. A potential playoff preview, Silvertips and Royals, next on Shaw. Well, here's a look outside Save on Foods Memorial Center in Victoria. The Barn on Blanchard, they call it here in Victoria, our final setting of the regular season. And you know, when the Royals acquired Axel Blomqvist from Lethbridge, they were one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. They've been one of the hottest since. He's got 42 points in 44 games since he joined Victoria. And Travis Brown, one of the key acquisitions for the Royals this season. He played in the Eastern Conference Championship 2 seasons ago. So you know that experience will be big for the Royals, who hope to make a deep run in the playoffs. And Mirko Mueller didn't play when these two teams met in a home-and-home at the end of 2013. He was busy playing with Switzerland at the World Junior Championship, but he's got 26 points, a big player for the Silvertips moving forward, heading towards the playoffs. Good evening and welcome to Levin Machinery, WHL on Shaw and WHL Central, brought to you by Bob Dale Gloves. I'm Andy Neal. We're down to the final weekend of the season here in the Western Hockey League, and while the Victoria Royals are locked in 3rd spot in the Western Conference, the Everett Silvertips have designs on home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Now, the Royals hit the 100-point plateau for the first time in the franchise's history with a big come-from-behind victory over the conference's best team in Kelowna on Tuesday night, but then that 6-game winning streak came to a halt the following evening by that same 3-2 score they were on the wrong end of in a loss to the Vancouver Giants. But still, they've won 18 of their last 22 coming into this evening. Now, meanwhile, the Silvertips are surging, and they were able to exercise some demons on Wednesday night with a 4-2 win over the Spokane Chiefs that ended an 18-game drought playing in Spokane. Their last win against the Chiefs on the road for the Silvertips was February of 2010. So they go into this evening having won their last 7 contests. They've got points in 10 straight and find themselves just 3 back of the Seattle Thunderbirds for 4th and that last home ice advantage spot in the Western Conference race. Seattle is squaring off with the Portland Winterhawks tonight. The Spokane Chiefs, they're taking on Tri-City in a home-and-home. Spokane's got 2 games left, so both Seattle and Everett have a game in hand on the Chiefs moving forward. But right now, if the playoffs were to begin today, it would be Victoria and Everett in the opening round. And to get you set a little further for the start of this home-and-home series between the Royals and the Silvertips, over we go to Dan Russell and Bill Willems getting ready for the call. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Andy. Well, you might look at it and say Victoria has nothing to play for, Bill, but try telling Dave Lowry that in this final weekend. I'm sure he would disagree with that strongly.
Well, you know, when his system is as simple as playing great defense every lack of possession, and you use 4 lines to do that, there's no need to ever change. And honestly, like Andy said, I think the 50 wins is a big motivator for this team.
We were here last week, and Ben Walkersher put on a pretty good show against Kamloops, had 4 assists in that game. Would you call him one of the quickest players in this league?
Yeah, I mean, what he did exactly 1 week ago tonight was really marvelous. I mean, it started right in the first shift. He went in and, made that hit. And then, he just put the puck in all the right places. Gets that puck behind the net, looks to see if that side is open, throws it in front of Blomqvist. And I mean, this guy was skating wind sprints, plain and simple. He was untouched as he went up and down the ice. Watch where he puts this puck. Right on a McGee stick. He can't believe he missed it. More wind sprints. You went the other way, let's go this side. And let's set up your brother Jack on this one. Upstairs. I mean, he had 4 assists on the first goal, Dan. They were all primary assists. I mean, it was a game the 20-year-old from Edina, Minnesota will never forget.
Now, at the back end, this Victoria team, they're very sizable. They've got a lot of big defensemen. Joe Hicketts is not one of the big ones at 5'8", but you could probably make a case that he plays pretty large.
Well, he does that, and he gives his Royal team that little bit extra. You know, when you're 5'8", you're always going to be overlooked because of your size. But with Joe Hicketts, what always brings you back, Dan, is his skill set. It's absolutely wonderful. He missed 36 games. He comes back around the trade deadline. It's like getting a free player. Now, he's got the same points right now as he had last year, but in half the games. And you just feel that with Hicketts in the lineup, that's a more productive Victoria defense.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Everett Silvertips. They made a very unique promise to their season ticket holders this year. If they finish under 6th place, in other words, 6th or 7th or 8th, they'd have to pay a rebate of $100. They're not going to have to do that. They're going to finish at least 6th place. And I guess keeping that money in the coffers, a large responsibility for that has been the play of Josh Winquist.
Yeah, and you know what? It started way back in November. He got him off to that great start. Josh Winquist, you know, the Tips played 14 games in November. He had points in all 14 games. He's number 21 out there. He was a player of the month in November. He was one of the 3 stars in 9 of those 14 games. You know, I mean, his performance propelled the Tips to first place so they could have a couple dips in their season. He's got 45 goals, which is a Tip record. And get this, he's got 5 points short of becoming the all-time Silvertip in career points in a season. He's been great for this hockey team.
Closing in on Zach Hamill. How about Mirko Mueller? He's a San Jose first-round draft pick. His numbers are pretty much the same as they were last year, but I'm interested in the intangibles that you see in his game.
Well, you know, Mirko Mueller is that kind of a defenseman that thrives, I think, in this system. Portland Winterhawk coach last year, Travis Green, said next to his own, Seth Jones, Mirko Mueller was the defense he noticed most. Now, the San Jose Sharks, Dan, they traded up 2 spots just to get him from 20th to 18. That's how much they like him. Yeah, there's some concern about his points, no question. But you know what? His defense, his toughness, the way he plays, you feel he's exactly the kind of defense that Everett Silvertips need in a Kevin Constantine system.
2 games left for Victoria, 3 games left for Everett. A home and home between these 2 teams this weekend. The first period is next here from Victoria when we come back on Shaw.
Rockets glare, the bombs bursting in the air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard
Wasn't that a nice way to start? That group is called Fortune. This afternoon, Bill worked out with them, and they said, we're not changing our name. We're Fortune, not out of tune. There they go. Nice anthems here tonight in Victoria. Now your starting goalies, brought to you by Jack Links. Feed your wild side. Austin Lotz has been in goal for the entire streak. 10 straight games, 15 goals against during this streak. He's got five shutouts this year, and that's third best in the league, tied with this guy, who's also got 5 shutouts. So the 2 goalies share that in common. There's Patrick Polifkin, there's 28 wins. His goals against average is number 4 in the Western Hockey League. There's your game officials, including the 2 referees, Adam Griffiths and Fraser Lawrence, and we are getting ready to go. These 2 teams, as Andy mentioned, had a home and home on New Year's Eve and on New Year's Day. The Royals won 3-2 on the last day of 2013. Then there was a 1-0 shootout on the first day of 2014. Last year, Victoria won 3 of 4 meetings. So here we go, Victoria in the white, Everett in their dark green uniforms. We're glad you're with us on Sean. We're underway, and there's a big rebound right off the jump here, and a centering pass. It's intercepted, and it looks like Everett will calm it down a little bit, or will they? Davis has a little trouble with the puck. Kevin Davis plays it behind his own net, and also having a little trouble is Mirko Mueller, and the puck goes all the way down the ice.
Davis might be a little shaky. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Ken Davis, 17 years old.
Do you get nervous on your birthday?
Not anymore.
That ship has sailed?
Talking about that group you were talking about, saying the anthems, I did fail a university class, intro to music class.
Intro to music?
Intro to music.
I think you failed listening to music. All right, there was a trip that went undetected, according to the sellout crowd here. You heard some boos from the crowd, and hats off to the Royals. They've sold out the venue twice last week. They've sold it out here tonight. And they're getting excited for playoffs, which will start a week from tomorrow night here in this building. First time ever Victoria's had home ice advantage in a first round. That pass missing. Joe Hicketts at the line, and going back to chase it down is Travis Brown. And Brown will put on the brakes behind the net, have a look up, and start the Royals out of their own zone, or at least try to on his backhand. It's a hard pass, and it apparently hits something on the way. And we'll take a quick break.
Well, 50 wins may not be a really, really big thing for Dave Lowry. He got 59 wins with that 08-09 Calgary Hitman team. But I can tell you it's a really big deal for this franchise, including Cameron Hope, general manager, Enio Sausalito, the assistant coach, and all the players. So I still think that's a big motivator, as I said in the pregame show, for his Victoria team.
48 wins, but they have their first 100-point season in franchise history in their back pocket. And they did that thanks to a win in Kelowna earlier this week, but they are coming off a loss to the Vancouver Giants, where Peyton Lee was real strong in goal. 41 saves just 2 nights ago at the Pacific Coliseum, and that snapped a 6-game win streak for Victoria. There's Bloomquist trying to grab the puck with his long reach, and he does just that. He goes wide, now he heads to the net, and he misses the far side. And that good reach by Bloomquist made that happen. Sandu chasing down a puck in the Victoria zone. Sandu going down. Tries to get back up again, cannot. Victoria's got it, and it's Bloomquist. He'll just pass and then probably head to the bench on a line change. Ryan Gagnon shoots the puck in, knocks his man down at the same time. Who's going down for Everett was Mirko Mueller. Mueller back up, has the puck, and his pass misses everybody, goes down the ice, and this should be icing called on Everett.
We take a look at these 2 teams head-to-head on the season. The Everett Silvertips haven't lost in regulation in their last 10, making a really, really big push, I think, for 4th in the conference. Everett had a little bit of a mid-season slowdown, and they played more games against the U.S. division than anybody else. And over there, Victoria, 48 wins, as I've said, I'm sure, headed for 50. And the reason they're able to do that, Dan, very simply, they've just been so good all season. The Victoria Royals, 8 road losses, phenomenal season.
Davis inside his own blue line, plays it cross ice. Mirko Mueller back to Davis. Kevin Davis is from Kamloops. His long pass up there for Jujar Kara went off his stick, and Davis again reorganizing inside his own line. We're 3 minutes into the first period. Now a pass up there, tipped in by Nicolishin, one of the top rookies in the WHL this year, having a wonderful season with Everett. He wears jersey number 89. Talking about him through the night. Ivan Nicolishin from Russia.
Might be one of the higher picks from Russia this coming draft, and a good 7-year-old, really thriving this year in Everett.
Shot misses the net. That shot taken by Logan Nelson. Nelson chasing the puck behind the net. Sharp angle shot. Lotz makes the save. Tries to swat at the puck. Couldn't quite do that. Nicolishin grabbing it, flipping it. Not out. Cote holds it in, only for a moment though, as the Silvertips get it out to the neutral zone. Lead pass, misses Cote, and this should be icing called. It is that on Victoria.
General manager of the Silvertips, Gary Davison, told me after the hire of Kevin Constantine, because he had been away from the WHL, he'd been in Switzerland the last 3 seasons, he asked him to go and watch the Portland Winterhawks. You know, they had really come to fruition, if you will, the last 3 years, and he wanted him to see the kind of game that they play, because Kevin Constantine earlier in his career was all about defense. I think he's been pretty happy with what kind of a game the Silvertips have offered this year.
Original coach of the Silvertips, already the winningest head coach in franchise history before he started his second stint this season. And his team is the hottest team in the WHL right now. They are 12-2-1 in their last 15 games, 9-0-1 in their last 10 games, and they are stingy like Kevin Constantine likes his teams to be. Allowed very few goals of late. Another icing call as the puck will go back down the ice, and so we get a good look at their structure under Constantine here tonight. That's forced 2 icings on Victoria in the last minute or so.
You know, when Kevin Constantine in year 1 won the Western Conference, he had 2 players, folks, 2 with 44 points, Riley Armstrong and John Dahl. You can imagine when you got 2 guys with 44 points, Dan, it's all about defense. And really Constantine's teams collapsed. They were blocking more shots than anybody. This year, again, he's got a much different, a much more offensive team, and I think a much more pleasing team for the fans to watch.
Tickets back deep in his own zone, bodied off the puck. Coming up with it there is Carson Stadnik. Stadnik gets it out the line. Long shot by Davis, doesn't reach the net. Gobbling it up is Austin Carroll. He has a little trouble in his skates, kind of corralling that puck. And here's Davis with it once more.
And that spot that Carroll had trouble with it, Dan, that's where National Hockey League wingers don't have trouble with it. You have to handle that puck 20 feet in your own zone along the boards. It's a must. You can't bobble it in there.
He had trouble. He was fighting it in his skates. There's Juleson's lead pass, gets up to Lawrencell. His shot, a weak one, turned aside by Palifka. Now from back of the net, Sandu tries to work it in front. The other number 10 for Victoria. Ben Walker attempting to move it around the boards. Here's Sandu from back of the net on his backhand. He tried to play it off the back of the net and get it back, but he couldn't. Blomqvist, lead pass, and here comes Walker, or McGee rather, in over the line. Walker heading to the net. McGee going to the net himself, and his shot is stopped by Lotz. The puck is still sitting there. Blomqvist picks it up. Stick handling in tight quarters to get it to McGee back of the net. McGee fights off a check. There's Walker trying to come off the backboards. And now Sandu, who's been out there a long time, deep in his own zone. Couldn't control the puck. There's Betker with it. He'll get it and flip it up high to allow his team to make a change. And the linesmen are going to make sure they watch who is on the ice, because they may not get that change in on the icing. Let's say good evening to Stu Walters.
Thanks very much, Dan. Talked with Kevin Constantine, head coach of the Silvertips, before the game, just about the secret ingredient this year to their success. He says obviously work ethic has something to do with it, but quite simply, it also comes down to health. He says the magic number is 2 or less. He estimates that they've won basically 70% of the game when they've had 2 or less injuries, but when it gets to 3, they've only won about 30%. They're pretty healthy right now. Cole Baumel is the only injury. He's out with a compound fracture in his tibia. He's gone for the next 6 weeks. But other than that, it's pretty funny that he's given us all those numbers with the health this year.
Well, I don't think it's funny. I think it's a good stat. I think it's something we should all track. I mean, when your record is what Constantine says it is, when it's more than 2 injuries versus less than 2 injuries, I think a lot of teams probably track that.
Yeah. Frankly, I hadn't thought much about it, but here's a guy that does. There's very, very little that he doesn't catch. You know, the other thing, too, Davidson, general manager, was saying that when Kevin Constantine applied for the job, Dan, on the phone, he talked a totally different language than any other coach that applied for the job. His terminology, his understanding of the game is just off the charts.
You know, there's always that old adage, and it's a cliche that you hear a lot. Oh, you have to play through injuries, you know, everybody gets them and such like that. But the point is, they are a factor, whether they want to admit them or not. And of course, you have to play the game, so I get the mindset for not wanting to have it as a crutch, but certainly they are a factor. As it's shot into the Victoria zone, it goes around the boards, and now Cote from back of the net makes a nice move to avoid the check, gets the puck, and then a turnover by Victoria, but only a brief one, as Nelson had his turnover recovered by his teammates, and it's shot down the ice. And Again, Bill, I wouldn't mind you commenting on the structure. That's 4 icings on Victoria in the last 2 minutes, so Everett is doing quite a job here, making sure Victoria doesn't get room.
Well, you know, Dan, what you do is you take away your passing options. And as a defenseman or as a player with the puck inside your own zone, the one thing you don't want to do is turn it over. So, you know what? I'm not so sure the icings are that bad a thing. Rather than a turnover, but you got to win the faceoff. You lose that faceoff, that's a different situation entirely. But we know that Everett's all about structure, and well, he should be.
Here's Soy moving in. His pass over to Fushimi went off a stick high and over top the glass.
Well, you talk about the Silvertips, boy, that 4-2 win in Spokane on Wednesday night. First game that they've won in there in 19. Could you believe that? They had lost 18 in a row in that situation, in that building. And again, a lot of success. Hadn't won back there since 2010, but the success on Wednesday night was great. By the way, the guy that scored right there, Josh Winquist, was the only player left on the Everett Silvertip team in the last win in the Spokane building.
And that win gives them 7 in a row, so it's a win streak that continues on for this Everett team, playing their best hockey. At one point, they were battling with Vancouver for the right to avoid, say, Portland and Kelowna, but they've soared of late. We've got 2 of the matchups set in the Western Conference. We'll be going through those as we move along. Back goes Gagnon to get the puck. Ryan Gagnon, didn't see him in the game here last week, from Quinnell. His pass goes up, and then it's flipped back inside the Victoria line. Gobbling it up there is Lawrence Sell, puts it behind the net. Gagnon picks it up on his backhand, trying to move it past Sandu. Sandu blocked that nicely, comes back out to the line. Julesen's shot goes wide. Kanzig hustling over there, but well, he's got the long reach, so his stick got there at the same time as Lawrence Sell, but it's Everett keeping the puck in. The puck shot from the line, knocked down, and again, it looks like Silvertips are going to be able to hold it in. Shots early are 3-3. Kanzig gets the puck to Gagnon. Gagnon's pass, that missed for an icing as it went off the leg. And collecting the puck now is Mirko Mueller. Pass up there for Kara. Kara in over the line, his shot. Palifka makes that one every time. And here comes Fisher, but it went off his skates. And Everett's got it once more. Davis trying to gain the red line. He does. Nicolishin in over the blue line. His pass hops over a stick. Winquist picks it up in front. Nicolishin's shot. That's knocked down before it reached the net, as Hicketts blocked that shot. Nicolishin again shot. That one hit a stick up high, and it goes out of play.
You know, when the Silvertips come down that right wing and they make a cross-zone pass in the offensive zone, Nicolishin there, you should never, ever be able to get back into that spot and get that play back again. 2 good things. Winquist chases it down, and you saw where Nicolishin went to the slot area. But there again, not to compare leagues, but when you mishandle that puck in the corner, as Nicolishin shot that puck, passed it to Winquist, boy, 1 league up, folks, you don't get that puck back.
Nearing the halfway mark of the first period, there is no score. And very few scoring chances so far. In fact, I wouldn't say there's been a blue chip chance in this game quite yet. Maybe Austin Carroll's shot from the wing. That's stopped by Lutz. Probably Victoria's best chance so far. Coming out of his own zone quickly was Hare. Hare swatting at the puck at the line. Gobbled up by Stephen Hodges, who's back in the lineup as the last couple of games. In fact, scored his 20th goal of the season in Vancouver a couple nights ago, and that became the 6th Victoria Royal to hit the 20-goal mark, and there's almost a turnover. And in fact, let's call it a turnover now as Lidahl tries to put the puck in front of the net. Stadnik there as well. Lidahl in this corner, in tight quarters. Makes a clever move, though, to get it to Stadnik, but Stadnik has it poked off his stick by Cote, who read the play nicely. Fontaine hustles over for Everett. You see now on the boards, Francouz trying to tie up his man, but again, the Silvertips come up with it. Wraparound attempt, and it's stopped by Palifka off Fontaine. And he'll hold on to stop the play. With 9.5 minutes to go in the first period, a potential first-round playoff preview, and these teams are pretty close already. Stay with us.
with Royals head coach Dave Lowry. And Dave, is this the start you expected against the Silvertips? A pretty structured game, not many chances so far.
Well, we expected them to play tight through the neutral zone, and hey, they're a good cycle team. We know that every time they get across the red line, the offensive zone, the puck's going in, and it becomes a forecheck game.
Your team is locked in third place, can't go up, can't go down. Is the focus just to keep up good habits against a possible first-round opponent here?
Our focus tonight is to make sure our game is where we need it to be going into the playoffs. And, hey, we want to win this game.
All right, thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
Guys.
You know, and this is a cycle that he's talking about. You know, Francouz loses his battle. Hodges loses that battle. 16-year-old Fontaine fakes to the front, cuts to the side, and Philippe a good position, gets that rebound. But, you know, those are the battles that you look for. See who wins those all night long.
Everett's been in a lot of these types of games. They've played 33 one-goal games this year. That is tops in the entire Western Hockey League. As Victoria comes out of their own zone, here comes Travis Brown leading the rush. Brown drops it back, a shot, a long one, handled easily by goaltender Lutz. The shot taken by Austin Carroll.
You know, you heard Dave Lowry talk with Stu Walters about, you know, good habits and working hard and, you know, teams fine-tuning for the playoffs. Let me give you some more specifics when you're talking about fine-tuning. Number one, you want to deal with momentum swings. You got to do that late in the season. You want to deal with calls that don't go your way. That's going to happen even late in the season. And you got to deal with those emotional highs and lows. Those are the specifics, Dan, that you want to deal with when you're talking about fine-tuning for the playoffs.
Mentioned their loss in Vancouver, snapping a 6-game win streak, but since mid-December, Victoria has 28 wins and just 5 losses. So their fine-tuning is very, very fine at this point. They've had just a wonderful season as Juleson from the line takes a slap shot and scores! That went off somebody in front, whether it hit Kara or somebody up high, but Juleson took the shot, and at 11:16 of the first period, the Everett Silvertips have scored the first goal.
Nicolishin again in on the play on the half wall. He's given time to get it back to the point. This is, look how wide open he is. You get all the Victoria players in too deep. Juleson has so much time to get it on the net. When you have this much time, how much traffic is there in front? Count it, folks. Palifka still hasn't seen it, but there's just nobody in his face. He's able to get that shot. Is it deflected in front by Kara? It might be. Kara's a big guy that gets in that position. But then this Victoria team's lost a couple battles along the boards in their own zone. They gave Juleson so much time, an acre of time and space to get pucks on the net. You got to see Victoria's got to tighten up a little bit. Everett deserves a 1-0 lead.
Juleson. Assist the play to number 89, Ivan Nicolishin. And to number 5, Ben.
All right, so there's the scoring play. It obviously went off Francouz. We were wondering if it hit Kara in front or if it Francouz, the big defenseman, 6'3", 20-year-old from the Victoria Royals. So Juleson knew he scored it himself. You could see the celebration. His second goal of the season, and you hear Nicolishin getting an assist. That's his 39th assist of the year for the rookie from Russia that we were speaking about earlier. And the second assist going to Ben Betker. So Everett Silvertips, they've been scoring first a lot lately. In fact, that's now 12 times in their last 15 games that the Everett Silvertips have scored the first goal. And you always know you get off to a good start, and that can propel you, and that's probably a big reason why they're on the kind of win streak they are. Royals come out of their own zone. So far, this large crowd's had very little to cheer about. Not only the Everett one goal, but much of the zone time's been down in Victoria's end, and nothing in the way of a real good scoring chance for Victoria. And that pass missing McGee. McGee trying to chase it down. McDonald getting there first. Cole McDonald putting on the brake, switching it, and the Silvertips out of their own zone. Lead pass onto the stick of Stadnik, and he stood up by Hicketts. Hicketts backhands it back of the net. Brown, look at all those bodies collide as they were taking a run at Hicketts. 3 Victoria Royals coming back the other way. There's a pass and another one, but it doesn't get through as Fashimi was heading to the, or Bloomquist rather, was heading to the front of the net. Bloomquist still standing in front, but he can't get the puck as Silvertips have it. Juleson playing it over here to Betker. Betker gets it out to Stadnik, who tips it into the Victoria zone, or did he? No, he didn't. It's icing called on Everett.
Well, one more look at the goal. It's certainly the Juleson shot. I mean, there's a lot of big people in the way. Yikes. How would you like to find that puck? Palifka, did you watch Palifka's reaction? He throws his arm up, hoping that that puck is going up in that corner. And number 4, as you see, it bounces off Francouz's stick, and he's got absolutely no chance on the shot by Juleson. And the following play Juleson just made in riding his man out of the corner is impressive for the 16-year-old defenseman from Abbotsford.
Travis Brown had his stick on it, but the Silvertips played over here on this side. Davis, his pass on the far side, shot in by Jones. Zane Jones, a one-time Chilliwack Brew, one-time Victoria Royal. Then to the Calgary Hitmen, and Jones just now has found himself in Everett. Centering pass, that misses Carroll through the goal mouth area. And there's Francouz with the puck now. Putting on the brakes, his pass misses. Davis falls, gets back up again. Gets possession of the puck, sends it just inside and now deep into the Victoria zone. Nicolishin and Cote battling for it. Fisher on the far side on his backhand for the Royals. Now a pass misses Crunk, and McDonald's got it now. Cole McDonald. And now the puck over here to Nicolishin, who'll send it in. He was flirting with going to the bench on a line change. He instead goes to the side of the net, looking for something there from Kara. McDonald from the line. Who falls? Shot. Ooh, that just tipped wide. Getting a stick on it there was Winquist. Now comes back out to McDonald. Shot. Winquist in front. Oh, and he's hauled down. No call there. And fight breaking out below us. Winquist looked like he had an unbelievable chance to make it 2-0 as Francouz now and Kara exchange punches. Kara doing more accepting so far. Now he comes back and they both go down. I want to see that Winquist chance again, whether or not my eyes were deceiving me. I thought he had a good scoring chance taken away from him.
Well, that Kara goes into the back wall, and Francouz knows that Jujhar Kara is a handful, and I mean a big handful. He's number 7, makes contact. Look at him. Look at how strong Kara is on the puck, keeps the puck moving with his feet. Then he goes to the front of net or gets a puck there to Winquist. That's a chance that you were talking about, and right after that is when that scrap started with Francouz and Kara. That's a big, tough customer to handle in the offensive zone. Edmonton Oilers' 3rd round pick in the 2012 draft is Jujhar Kara from Surrey.
Now we're going to see a look at the scrap.
Pretty tough customer also for Francouz. 250 games played. Brandon, Victoria. You know, Francouz has played 20 playoff games in his career, and that might be a factor down the road in helping this Victoria team going into the postseason.
Kevin Constantine shaking his head like I was up here. Winquist just had a conversation with the referee wondering why that was not a penalty in front. That was a golden scoring chance, and he was just taken down. Shot misses from the face-off. They do call or they announce the penalties now, offsetting major penalties. So not affecting the manpower situation as Brown goes back to collect the puck. Brown gets the puck up for Bloomquist. And now Lowe has it. Flipped up high. Hicketts waits for it to come down. It finally does. And now it comes over here to Brown. The shots so far are 7-6 in favor of Everett. Now Victoria gets possession. Walker trying to move his way in front, could not. I mentioned his brother Jack Walker is one of the scratches tonight, so we only have the one Walker in this game. Here's Brown with it now. Brown with 53 points this year, number 12 amongst WHL defensemen. Puck is shot in. Hoopfall hit on the boards. McGee coming up with the puck. Now Bloomquist. Bloomquist. Pass in front. Hodges' shot is blocked by Fontaine. Fans yelling for a penalty. And the Everett Silvertips able to get it out to the neutral zone. Fontaine will send it back in and head to the bench on a line change. 4 minutes and change left here in the first period. 1-0 for the Silvertips. There's a move by Hodges. Knocked a little off stride, but maintained balance as he shot the puck into the Everett zone. McDonald avoids a check, gets the puck up, and the Silvertips just like that, out of their own zone. Sandu brings it back in over the line. Nice pass onto the tape. Sandu heads to the net. doesn't get the return pass. Body here. Now we got a penalty. Arm in the air from the back. Well, both referees got it, but a hooking penalty being called by the back official. And it looks like Everett is going to be shorthanded.
Watch how many Victoria Royals end up converging on the Everett Silvertip team. You got Sandu with a puck. It's going to come to the wall here. And just watch all the white jerseys. Just 1, 2, 3 of them just all converge on that side of the ice. Look at them all, 3 in one corner. The penalty goes the other way, and Victoria an opportunity here in a game they trail by 1 to go on the power play.
Looks like a bit of a borderline call. So we get the first power play of the night. Victoria has the 12th ranked power play, Everett the 13th ranked PK. So not much doing there as Cote has it over to McGee. A shot goes over top the net. Cote gets the rebound, but only for a moment. And now it's going to be sent down the ice and gives us a chance to tell you that this power play is brought to you by Days Inn. Days Inn has 34 hotels throughout Western Canada. Visit daysinn.ca. Long pass, doesn't click. Watch the goaltender, can't clear it out. Knocked down by Walker. Here's a chance for Victoria as McGee as he went right into the blue shaded crease, and then his backhand goes wide of the net and it's sent down the ice by Everett. 3 minutes to go in this first period, 1:10 left in the penalty. Brown comes out of his own zone. Brown, by the way, will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow night. So you got one defenseman, Davis, having his today, and Brown tomorrow. Mirko Mueller next Friday. Lead pass up to Carroll. Puts it behind now for Nelson on this side. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Hicketts. Now Brown. Hard pass up for Hodges. Just too hard for him to handle. Comes back out to Hicketts once more. Brown on a one-timer. Goes wide of the net. Nelson. Now Hodges moves it on the backhand, and it's poked off his stick at the last moment. Good job there by Lidahl. Brown again with room. Brown winds up and shoots, and oh, ouch, that hurts. That hurts. Pufal slow to get up. Limping on one leg. Pufal gets back up, trying to kill that penalty. Pufal gets the puck himself. What's he going to do with it? I got to get rid of it. I got to get off. But Brown can't quite hold it in on his glove, and Pufal able to get over to the bench, and he barely gets there. But that's a courageous play, and look at everybody tap on him, congratulate him, and then he's actually going to go to the Everett dressing room. That's how much pain he's in right now.
You know, an acquisition from Kamloops, Gary Davison, the general manager, targeted Matt Pufal when he looked at the overages that Saskatoon had on defense. And the guy that blocks that shot, number 4, Pufal, was really taken onto this Everett team to replace the goals that they lost, the points that they lost from Landon Ozlansky last year. And has Pufal ever done that? He's got the 13 goals, and there you see the other side of that game for a defenseman, getting down and blocking shots. Wow, what a, I mean, as I've said this so many times, Dan, at this time of year, boy, your body turns all kinds of colors. And as you said, wonderful pat on the back when he got to the bench, but not so sure how much that helped the hurt.
Captain of the Everett Silvertips, and you want your captain to provide all kinds of leadership. Well, there's some of the leadership you want from your captain on that play there.
Yeah, and he replaced Ryan Murray. They went basically almost all of last year without a captain, and the players voted on Pufal.
We have offsetting minors on that last play stoppage, so we've got 4-on-4 for the last part of this period, barring further penalties, as it's brought in by Betker. Betker going wide. Betker at 6'6" from Cranbrook. He's a big boy, Ben Betker is, in his second year. Rolls over to Palifka. He holds on to stop the play.
You know, Ben Betker is an Edmonton draft as well, Dan. The Seth Jones trade, when he went from Everett to Portland, is still affecting the Silvertips positively. Betker and Tyler Sandu are two of the guys that went the other way. They acquired, you know, from Portland for Jones, and I think it was a great trade for both teams. You know what Seth Jones did for Portland last year, helping to win the WHL, and right now Betker and Sandu doing a super job here for Everett. And by the way, a third guy, Skapski, but he's playing for this Victoria team.
although I haven't called his name. He's certainly part of their mix. Number 8, I'm not sure he's had a shift yet. Now here's Mueller moving in, winding up on the 4-on-4, doesn't take the shot. Mueller getting himself some more room. Walker trying to chase him down and stay with him, and Walker's doing a good job doing that, so Mueller just dishes it, and Brown collects it. Mueller heading to the bench on a line change with 25 seconds to go in this first period. Victoria will try this side. And here's Walker collecting the puck. In over the blue line. Walker makes a move. 10 seconds to go. Head up, throws it at the net. Rebound. Glove down. Still loose, but no white-shirted Royal there. And that's going to do it for the period as Brown collects the puck. And we get the 1 goal in that period by Juleson at 11:16. Noah Juleson's shot going in off Jordan Francouz. And there's Lotz, whose last shutout was in this building on New Year's Day. Let's go over to Andy Neal.
All right, Dan, coming up in the first intermission, we will hear from Jordan Francouz, the product of North Battleford, Saskatchewan, who will speak with Stu Walters. Inside the WHL with Travis Huntington, the play-by-play voice of the Everett Silvertips, and the Royals crash and banger, Taylor Crunk from San Jacinto, California. Noah Julesson second, the only goal so far, Everett 5-1 on Leather Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
And welcome back to Victoria, where the Everett Silvertips lead the Royals 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Happy to be joined now by Royals captain Jordan Francouz. And Jordan, how would you describe that opening 20 minutes of play? Was it a little bit tight checking there?
Yeah, I think we came out with the energy we wanted to. Obviously, they're a very structured team, and any turnovers you give them, that's when they're going to capitalize. They're getting some shots on net. They got a lucky goal, went off my arm and past Patty, but got to give them credit. They're working hard, and they're hard to play against with their structure.
What initiated the fight between you and Kyra?
I was just trying to be physical on him. I got a couple hits on him. His hands were in my face both times, and obviously I didn't like that. I said a few things to him. He asked if we want to go, and it just happened.
You guys are locked in third place in the West. Can't go up, can't go down. 2 games left here before the playoffs. What is the focus? Is it mostly on good habits, especially against the team that you likely will face in the first round?
Yeah, definitely. That's all we've been talking about with Dave is getting our habits right for playoffs, and obviously it's a team that we quite possibly could face. So we want to start now. If it is them who we play, we want to be hard on them now.
You guys are second in the league in goals against, I believe 174 goals against. How proud are you of that stat?
That's something that we've worked really hard to accomplish. When I came here 2 years ago, I think we gave the most goals, and then now to be in a couple of top teams with the least amount of goals, it's something we really pride ourselves on.
Jordan, good luck, and good luck the rest of the 40 minutes. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, let's head up to Andy Neal and WHL Central.
Thanks very much, Stu. And WHL Central brought to you by Bobdale Gloves. Pleased to be joined with Travis Huntington, the play-by-play voice of the Everett Silvertips. And, we were talking about this off camera, that if these two teams were to meet, this is our first look at the Everett Silvertips. This could be one physical series if they do collide in the 3-6 matchup.
Well, and I do think that Everett has felt they need to come and answer the tone, because obviously Victoria is going to play that style of game. They're big and they're physical, and I think the Silvertips know that they need to come out and do the same thing.
Yeah. What's gone right over the last 10 games for the Silvertips to put them in the position where home ice advantage is still there?
Well, it's been surprising almost that opportunity arose, and this team really has gotten it all back together. It's almost like early in the season, the way this team was playing, when the top guys are playing well, getting that offensive production when you need it, and defensively, this is a very hard team to score on when things are going well. The Silvertips are a very structured style. Austin Lotz has been very good in goal, and the Silvertips just don't give up a lot of shots. They don't give up a lot of scoring chances. That formula right now has really come together at the right time down the stretch.
It was a team last year that had so many problems being able to score goals. Was that kind of the goal when Kevin Constantine was rehired back behind the bench?
I think that definitely changing the style of the way the team played was really a big priority. And I know that Gary Davidson and Kevin Constantine talked a lot about wanting a puck possession style, and that really has been established. And the Silvertips still don't always outshoot teams by a ton, but they usually have the puck a lot. And they usually like to play that style of game. They're very controlled. They like to really have an outlet. You'll see the Silvertips regroup at center ice a lot of times. If the
rush isn't there, they won't force it. They'll back it right off and they'll try again. And that puck possession style has been a big part of trying to increase the offensive output, and obviously it's done wonders.
Poor Matt Pufall put his life in front of the shot of Travis Brown near the end of the period, but the captain this year, former Saskatoon Blade, what has he meant to the Silvertips since he's arrived in the Pacific Northwest?
Well, he really has provided a veteran presence back on the blue line, something the Silvertips still were kind of missing. It's a pretty young decor. It's a good decor, but it is still pretty young, and Pufall, of course, as the quarterback of that power play, has really done a lot. And again, just that veteran presence, the experience that he brings to the table, everything that Saskatoon team went through last year, you can really see that come through in his game and what he talks to guys about off the ice.
And Josh Winquist, what a breakout year for him. What's been his key to success?
I mean, it's amazing. Every time he's got the puck on his stick now, you start to think something might happen, something special. He's added that finishing touch to his game, and he's pretty well-rounded. He can finish, he can shoot the puck, really in tight spaces, but he's also got very good vision. He sees everything happening. He can make great plays with it, and that really has been the catalyst for most of what Everett has done offensively this year. It has started with number 21.
Well, a couple of nights ago, you had a great celebration after the game, but Everett knocked off Spokane for the first time since February 2010. I mean, how big of a weight was that off the team's shoulder to be able to get that win?
Well, I think it was huge for the guys. It was something that was talked about every single time you went into that rink, and the Silvertips, Winquist was the only player on the roster who had won a game in that building, and I really think that it did wear on guys a little bit, but it certainly looked like the guys came and tackled that game with an intensity because obviously the circumstances surrounding it, trying to maybe get into a 4-5 matchup, maybe even home ice in the first round, and the guys really seemed to use that as motivation as well.
All right, Travis, appreciate the time. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Travis Huntington, play-by-play voice of the Everett Silvertips. We'll take a quick time out. Silvertips up 1-0 as we look inside the Royals dressing room here on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw. Bobdale Clubs, WHL Central, our final game of the regular season. The Everett Silvertips with a 1-0 lead over the Victoria Royals. And the Royals this season, in their third year in the BC Capital, one of the favorites going into the Western Conference playoffs. And one of the players that was here from the beginning was Taylor Crunk, who was a 9th-round pick all the way back in the 2010 Bantam draft. But he came right in as a 16-year-old. And this year, he's a crasher and banger who's established new career highs in goals, assists, and points. And we get more on the product of San Jacinto, California from Marlon Martins, the play-by-play voice of the Victoria Royals.
Taylor Crunk. He's 6 feet tall, 212 pounds, and plays left wing for your Victoria Royals. Taylor is a California kid from San Jacinto, a small suburb an hour and a half outside of Los Angeles.
Growing up, obviously, in Southern California, hockey's not the biggest sport out there, but, you know, it's definitely grown a lot, and everyone usually starts out playing roller hockey, and then that's how I got my start. And then we had some friends go over to ice hockey, and they're like, hey, you should check it out. I started roller hockey when I was about 6, and then moved to ice when I was 9. You see a lot more guys come up here, you know, in the dub, and, you know, guys get drafted from out of Cali all the time. A lot of good players go to school, and, you know, you see more and more make the NHL nowadays.
How does a kid playing hockey in Southern California get scouted to play in the WHL?
I went to the U.S. Prospects Camp for the WHL down in Anaheim, and then I talked to Chilliwack's staff at the time. It was Chilliwack. Everything about the organization just seemed like a pretty good fit, and then they drafted me, and I was pretty excited. Went to camp when I was 15, and everything seemed great. And when the team moved to Victoria, you know, everything was just that much better. And so, you know, it's a great place to play.
Taylor is a self-described grinder. He finds himself on the 4th line most nights for the Royals. It's a role he accepts and is excelling at.
I like to muck it up, get in the corners, get hard on the forecheck. Just play a physical game overall. You know, if you need to stick up for the boys every now and then, I'm willing to do that. You know, it's a risky thing to do, but I'm willing to do it every now and then.
Trying to spin away from the check of Martin. Martin gets it off his stick. Crump comes over and he flattens Bailey. Bailey's not getting up. We got a fight here. Crump, he's going at it. There's Crump and Goldberg. I think it's the two going down as punches being thrown left and right. Goldberg coming to the aid of Bailey. What a crunch by Crump.
Taylor and his teammates spend a lot of time on the road. And with a bus full of 16 to 20-year-olds, some interesting things happen, including the formation of a rap group.
Yeah, we started this little group called Heart Life. Yeah, it's pretty funny. We just mess around with it, but We like to freestyle rap on the bus and stuff. Me, Jack Palmer, Logan Nelson, Travis Brown, he's probably our most talented rapper. Axel Bloomquist has the best voice by far. He does the background singing while we'll rap. Benny Walker's good on the beats. Yeah, he's got a lot of good beats on his phone. Oh, and I gotta say, Fishy D does the intros.
I try to stick away from that. They're quite characters on the bus with those raps, and a lot of them have to do with the boys, and they're real funny and all. But I just can't listen to them all the time. They make me laugh too much.
In Victoria for the Royals Report, I'm Marlon Martins, the voice of the Royals on the Zone at 91.3.
Many thanks to Marlon Martins. The Bobdale Gloves out-of-town scoreboard with 7 other games tonight. The Prince Albert Raiders leading big on home ice against Saskatoon, 2 points back of Brandon and Red Deer for the final playoff spots, as Leon Draisaitl's hit the 100-point mark with a 5-1 lead over Saskatoon. Meanwhile, Regina hanging on through 2 over the Wee Kings, 3-2 lead in the first of a home-and-home set there. Connor Gay has his goal is the difference in Regina. Meanwhile, Moose Jaw giving Swift Current all they can handle tonight. A 3-3 tie through 40 minutes of play. The Warriors come into the game with wins in their last 4. Meanwhile, Calgary was up 3-0 on Kootenay. Broncos trying to catch the ice for 5th. The Ice have cut into it to make it a 3-2 game. They are in the second period of play. So there's how it looks right now in the Eastern Conference. And Edmonton Red Deer, their home-and-home series starts tomorrow. It's a Saturday-Sunday home-and-home between Edmonton and Red Deer. So Prince Albert looking good right now in their game against Saskatoon. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference side, Jesse Astles has both goals for Tri-City. They're leading in Spokane through 20 minutes of play by a 2-1 count. Spokane 1 point ahead of Everett coming into tonight. Troy Burke has the lone goal so far as the Cougars are up over Kamloops 1-0 through 20. They'll play the back half of that home in Prince George tomorrow. Meanwhile, Kelowna and Vancouver, they are scoreless in the first period of play. And also the Portland Winterhawks and the Seattle Thunderbirds. They too with no goals to report in the first period in Kent, Washington. So there's the story right now in the Western Conference. Everett still has a shot at home ice advantage, 3 points back of Seattle coming into tonight. And RE/MAX is proud to support the Western Hockey League and excited to offer fans a chance to win $20,000 in home entertainment prizes. To enter, visit WHL.ca and click on the RE/MAX Home Team Contest button. RE/MAX, official realtors of the WHL. Second period is on the way next from Victoria. The Silvertips with a 1-0 lead here on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
Yes, there's our board advertising. WHL on Shaw from Victoria tonight. 4 rounds on Shaw starting next week. We'll on that very soon. That had the DNA of a playoff game, that first period.
Well, it did, and you know what you're going to get when you're playing Everett. You know what you're going to get when you're Brandon McGee. Look at how strong the leading scorer for this Victoria team is in getting that shot on the net. But you know, it was a good job by Everett in that first period. Good forecheck. Fontaine on that wraparound. Only one goal to show you. Far left of your screen, Betker. Watch the softness of the Victoria defense. The puck hits the skates, he gets it back. On this wraparound, Polivka's got to stop that puck behind the net. He does it. Some more soft play along the wall, and what happens? Hold it right there, guys. Look at Noah Juleson and how much time he's got. This is not a power play, folks. That's the time and space he gets. That's the traffic that builds up in front of the net, and it's a 1-0 score for the Silvertips. Watch McGee. Why don't you watch them, folks? Watch his chin. It's down. It's down. Now it's really going to go down. There. You get a guy going in a traffic like that who's a little afraid to get there, the chin is up. He doesn't want to go into that traffic. Brandon McGee is a 20-year-old that plays that kind of game for this team here in Victoria, and that's why he's your leading goal scorer.
Each team was 7 shots on goal in the period. We were 4-on-4 for just a few seconds to start this second period of play. The Everett Silvertips are 17-2-1 when they lead after 1, but there's a Victoria chance, one of the best ones they've had so far, and that was Hodges on the backhand from the doorstep, and Austin Lotz makes the save in the Everett goal. Kevin Davis gets the puck through to the center ice area, ducks down to avoid a check, and we'll just see if the captain is over there, Pufall, since blocking that shot late in the first, and Stu Walters will check on that as well. In comes Carroll with a shot, and Lotz holds on to stop the play.
Well, this is exactly the way Dave Lowry wants his team to come out. Watch Jack Palmer on the forecheck. He moves in, first time that puck's in the tip zone, creates a loose one, and look at Steve Hodge take it into that high traffic area. Good opportunity. Let me correct myself real quickly. Brandon McGee's a 19-year-old. He isn't a 20-year-old, so he's got certainly at least another year left for the Victoria Royal leading scorer.
25 goals plus 31 this year is Brandon McGee. Team's back at full strength after the 4-on-4. And we're looking for number 4 for Everett, and I don't see him there, and I can't see the captaincy right across from us, but they're all kind of standing there. And now I'm told he is at the bench. He blocked a shot and hobbled off right at the end of the first period. And at this time of year, you really want to pay attention to who's coming back. Now we're going to get a penalty on Victoria. It looks like Crunk took his man down, and that player is slow to get up. There you see him there, and that is Juleson, the goal scorer in this game. And the trainer coming out for Everett, Mark Paquet, the athletic trainer, will meet Juleson as he is skating under his own steam back to the Everett bench.
Well, this is a guy that we met in our in-between period feature. That's Taylor Crunk. There's the hit you saw earlier. We showed you Jack Palmer on the forecheck. No penalty on that one. It created a loose puck, but there is a penalty on this one there.
Question is it 2 or 4? It is 2.
It is 2, and it's Noah Juleson. You know, when you look at Juleson, number 3, the guy with the goal, the guy, the recipient of the hit, Dan, his plus 11, wow, it's the best of all this Everett Silvertip defense. That's him going for attention right now.
Yeah, another defenseman going to the dressing room. We mentioned earlier Pufall in the first period. Now Juleson goes. Meantime, the power play. It's the first power play for Everett, 10th ranked power play in the WHL. They have 64 power play goals. The PK for Victoria is ranked number 6 in the entire WHL. Cote falling down in the corner, but the puck goes to Everett as it's Hare getting it out to the blue line area. Mueller now to Hare. Stadnik waiting for the puck down back of the net. Jones, his pass goes off the stick and goes up high into the center ice area. And quickly Stadnik will bring the puck back in over the line. Stadnik gets it to Nicolishin. Nicolishin, his pass now for Bykov. He lost the puck, and now it's swatted off the linesman and then put in on the delayed offside. That was a weird one. Victoria was clearing it, went off the linesman, and that threw the play offside. Meantime, that can give us a chance to tell us this power play is brought to you by the Days Inn Hotels. Rates and availability are available for you at daysinn.ca. You can check them out right now. Still minutes go on this man advantage. There is Pufall getting the puck on a one-timer. Scores! Pufall scores the goal. He delayed it just enough, it seemed, on the slap shot from the line, and it might have thrown the timing off of Polivka. Bill can talk about that, but it's the 14th goal of the year for Matt Pufall.
Isn't that something? 2 goals for the Tips, 2 goals from the defenseman. Again, in the hands of Winquist, so important. You know, I think what you're talking about is he draws that stick back as if he's going to hit it hard, and then he brings it down a little bit softer. It's exactly what it was. And the guy that blocked that shot, that got all those pats on the head when he went to the bench after that block in the first period, gets his 14th goal of the season. We talked about it earlier. A terrific addition for this Everett Silvertip team from Saskatoon, and that glut of defensemen that he had. By the way, Pufall, his last 2 playoffs with Saskatoon, Dan, you know as well as anybody, 2 sweeps by the Medicine Hat Tigers.
Everett goal scored on the power play. 14th goal of the season for number 4, Matt Pufall. Assist in the play to number 21, Joshua Winquist. And to number 89, Ivan Nicolishin.
So 2 big gunners getting the assist on that power play goal, and we referenced earlier to Winquist. Just past Shane Harper for Everett record for most goals, but he's zeroing in on Zach Campbell. That's his 90th point of the year. So Winquist has 90 points with that assist. There he is at the bench.
Winquist, simple play. Look at that nice fresh ice. You like to have the power play in that situation. Just blows it past Polivka. By the way, Polivka in net for the 3-2 win and the 1-0 shootout win. The only 2 times these teams have played. Palifka that night, those 2 games, was a .966 save percentage, but he notices right now he sees his team behind 2-0.
Brought in over the line by Victoria. Opportunity for Hodges, moves in for a shot, and that is stopped. Gives me a chance to talk a little bit about Winquist. 3 of his last 4 games, he has scored 2 goals. He had 2 last Wednesday at Spokane. He had 2 last Saturday against Seattle. He had 2 on March 2nd against Kelowna. He's had 12 multi-goal games this year, and he started his season with a hat trick against Prince George. Bill talked earlier tonight about how he had such a great start, Winquist did, and it just sometimes happens where you just get off to a fantastic start and it will carry you, and it's carried him all year long.
You know, he, as a 16-year-old in Everett, Dan, he watched 20-year-old Shane Harper score those 42 goals. He got 3 himself. Now he has the record, and he says all he wants to do is build on those 45 goals that he's got. That puts him 4 within Zach Hamill, doesn't it, for career?
Now 3.
Or 3, yeah.
And with 3 games this weekend, good chance. Here's Pufall moving in again. He delays that shot just enough. And that time, Palifka has a chance to see at least a bit of it, enough of it to make a save.
You know, when he delays Pufall on this, I want you to watch the Victoria players in front of the net. I mean, they just get right out of the way. Here it comes, and you'll find there's an all-alone Everett Silvertip in front of the net. There's the fake. Now watch it front. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, and the only guy left in there is all by himself, and he's trying to whack at that rebound, Patrick Bykov.
I know he has scored now 14 goals, but you know 11 of those goals came before December, so he had a great start. He's only scored 3 or 4 times since December started. So that, even though he's had a nice year, that's not a real common goal of late for Pufall, who has the puck again. Has an active game going here. Injured late, or hurt at least, hobbled off in the first. Scored here in the second, and another chance in the second, and still out there as we speak.
Now, as I mentioned last time, these 2 teams met. Victoria with a 3-2 and a 1-0 win. That was a home and home on New Year's Eve and Christmas Day, or New Year's Day. So they played, you know, an afternoon evening game and an afternoon game. By the way, Josh Winquist didn't play either one of those 2 games for Everett Silvertips. He was out with a concussion during that time.
And speaking of players who are getting looked after, Juleson still in the dressing room of Everett, and we're told the Victoria training staff is also helping out the Everett medical staff, treating to Noah Juleson, who was injured here in the second period. The player who scored the first period goal for Everett. 5 minutes into this middle period, it's 2-0 for Everett as the net comes off its support.
You get a look at Austin Lotz, the 29 wins, has started 10 in a row, 9-0-0-1 during that time. His last regulation loss for Austin Lotz, you got to go back to February 15th, the 3-2 loss in Seattle. Now, Danny wasn't drafted last year, and that was a bit of a surprise, and I think it was a bit of a motivator for Austin Lotz, but I'm told that this year he's grown an inch, so he's a bigger goaltender, and that 29-18 record certainly a little bit better than that 15-19 record he had last year.
Face off to his right, and the Everett Silvertips win it. Everett on the road this year have 18 wins, 10 losses, and 6 times they've gone to whatever happens after 60 minutes and lost. So 18, 10, and 6 on the road this year as the puck hops over the stick. And Victoria at home is 22, 10, and 3. Victoria, as we mentioned, will open at home a week from tomorrow, and I'm told playoff tickets are for sale here and going quite well already as that puck goes off the screen on a play behind the Victoria net.
Well, you know, one of the guys that's been made a real impact for Everett this year has been 17-year-old Nicolishin. He's just been terrific for this team. He leads all Western Hockey League rookies in power play points. That's him on the power play. In fact, this whole sequence you're watching is power play stuff, and he's got a power play assist already tonight. He's second in scoring for Everett, but guess what? He's 34 points behind Josh Winquist, so he's certainly one of those guys that Constantine is looking forward to to get some of that secondary scoring. I mean, that's a lot of points behind your leading scorer. But he's positioned himself well for the upcoming draft.
Davis to Pufal. Pufal flipping the puck down the ice. This will not be icing. Pickett on the backboards. Bodied off the puck. Bykov trying to work it in front. Now Travis Brown intercepts. Brown playing his 27th game with the Victoria Royals tonight. He's plus 19, but there's a chance. Oh, and a golden opportunity there for Kara. And now we got another Everett player hurt. We got a penalty coming up as well. Nicolishin on the end boards. He's put his head up though, and that always tells me a little bit about how hurt he might be. And he gets up after he maybe sees that the arm was in the air and the penalty's been drawn. Let's see what Bill has to say on this.
Yeah. Let's see what you people back home have got to say. Watch 89. There's the hit. Stephen Hodges.
I don't
now
like it.
Have a little bit of look at this.
Watch his head.
Watch his.
Yeah, I gotta have a look. See, oh yeah,
Oh,
okay.
no,
yeah.
no, no.
Penalty's
no,
called.
no,
I can.
Forget it.
Oh, and
That's
shockingly, he's still on the ice.
That's pretty funny stuff.
There's a centering pass. They call it interference. Fans don't like it. They probably know what we know. There's Nicolishin with it now. Boy, he looks like he's got bounce all of a sudden. Nicolishin gets it again. He's dancing on his skates as it comes to the line, and a shot is stopped, and it's held on to by Polivka.
Power play time will put a little bounce in your step every single time. But you can't take away the guy's ability, you know. Came to the U.S. mainly because of the National Hockey League draft. Nicolishin says the same league in Russia, the 16 to 20-year-old league, is called the MHL. He says it's not a little stronger in the Western Hockey League. It says it's a lot stronger than what he plays back there. So obviously he's benefiting from it.
That's him trying to dig out the puck. He came into tonight number 2 in rookie points with 55, tied with Nick Merkley of the Kelowna Rockets. 89, Nicolishin sweeps it around the board. Pufal cannot hold it in. He doesn't like it. He's kind of taps the ice. Hey, I got to make that play. Pufal back, controlling the puck. By the way, he now has 48 points. That's a career high for Matt Pufal.
He started his career in Red Deer.
He sure did. Nicolishin gets it back. Plays it over to Pufal, back for Nicolishin, but nice job by Ben Walker to anticipate it, got a stick on it. Still a minute to go in this power play, and it's a big kill for Victoria, as they do not want to fall 3 down to this Everett team. 2's already a big mountain to climb, especially how stingy Everett's been. I think in the last 10 games, they haven't allowed more than 2 in any game. Windquist drops it back. Here's a long shot. Hits somebody in front, and Alan Mueller will try a second time. I think the first one, not sure who it hit. I think his teammate, Jones. Now it's a centering pass. Bykov. Long shot by Mueller. That does not get through. Bykov once more. Mueller and Bykov pass it back and forth with one another. 14 seconds to go in the power play. Jones from back of the net. Trying to work it in front was Hayer, and then to the point, and he couldn't do either, and it goes down the ice, and that'll do it for the kill.
Yeah, doesn't it seem like the Pufals and the, you know, even the Muellers and the Juleson with the goal, do you not find they're having just that lot of time at the blue line? Almost like we're saying, they're able to fake shots and kind of change the pace of their stick. It's not normal to see that against this Victoria team.
And speaking of Juleson, he is now back at the bench, so that's good news. Don't want to see anybody missing too much time at this time of year.
Yeah, he's out on the ice here right now.
There's a chance, or a hit by Kanzig, who wants to get his team going here. And maybe that's what Victoria is going to try to do, go to the body. They are a good team when they are playing the body. I know in Kelowna the other night, they won that game 3-2, and they were definitely on the Rockets physically. Here's Gagnon with it. Haven't seen much of it, honestly, here tonight. There was Hodges trying to get a chance. I remember the last time we were in Kelowna, Bruce Hamilton, president GM owner of the Rockets, said, we like playing Victoria. I said, why? He said, because we know we're in a game. We know what we're made of when we play Victoria. I don't think we've seen Victoria yet at their best tonight. Here's Carroll moving in. He can't get a shot away. Hodges shoots, scores! From a Victoria standpoint, that is more like it. Stephen Hodges getting them on the board. It's a 2-1 hockey game.
A lot of work here by Austin Carroll. This is heavy slugging, folks. He's number 21. Nice little deke. Watch the stick set he avoids. He goes into traffic. He's got to avoid more sticks. Finally loses the puck. And what often happens is one man's treasure is another man's garbage. The garbage that's left right there is picked up by Hodges. What a quick release. Did you see how quickly he took it from backhand to forehand? Because he knew he was in traffic, and he got the snapshot up in that top corner.
Hodges. Indeed, 21st goal of the year for Hodges.
Austin Carroll.
57th point for Carroll. And that's the only assist. Carroll, the second leading point getter on Victoria. And by the way, for Hodges, that is WHL goal number 75 in his career. Goals in back-to-back games, giving him 21. And more importantly, the score is 2-1. Nelson now, quickly to Brown, shoots, save, and the rebound is gobbled up there by Pufall, as you don't see that too often this day and age, a player being able to wind up with a slap shot from the boards, but we see it twice in a short period of time as that shot from this side, taken by Lidahl, is turned aside by Polivka. Another chance, Mueller, slap shot, oh, off the head, rebound, swept away, that went right off the face of Polivka, hit him in the helmet, and he shakes it off and keeps Victoria in this game with that big head save. See that very often. Didn't mean to, I'm sure, but what are you going to do?
How does he stay in there?
He's still shaking his head. I'd be shaking for about a month.
My goodness.
And there was a lot on that shot, believe me. There's a long breakaway for Fisher going in, and he's stopped by Lotz, and it's gobbled up the rebound by Everett. Back the other way to Silvertips as we see the best action end-to-end of the night. Winquist, great pass, and a goal, and Polivka makes the save. Awesome opportunity set up by Winquist and a centering pass into the crease area. The chance by Bykov was set up by Winquist. Bykov yelling for a penalty, or at least asking for one from the ref. And we see some great action here midway through the second period. It's 2-1. Everett leads Victoria, and this is the WHL 1 week from playoff time on Shaw.
With Silvertips head coach Kevin Constantine, and Kevin, have you been mostly pleased with your team's structure and intensity on the road so far?
Yeah, it's a big game for us, and they're a good team. They don't give you a lot of room. It has a bit of a playoff feel, a good crowd. It's a good hockey game. It's got a real playoff feel to it.
Points in 10 straight games for you guys, nine wins as well amongst them. Has defense been one of the key constants for you guys?
Well, it's hard to talk about that because that's all anybody wants to talk about when they talk about, our team, but we also got a guy with 45 goals, and so that doesn't happen unless there's some offense being created too. So we just try to have good balance to our game.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Guys, wow, how exciting has this been? Watch Mueller with this shot right in the mask, right in the face. Bingo of Patrick Polivka. Stretch pass. Cote sends Fisher in. What a great save there by the goaltender Lotz. And you know what? What you could do, we could do just as well. Everett the other way, stretch pass. That's as good of action as we've had all game was in the last 30 seconds.
After Polivka took that in the face, we see a long shot going wide of his net, and Pufall moving in for another chance from this side, and that's on goal, and Polivka turned that aside. Francouz there as well, and a centering pass once more, and the puck is now on Victoria's stick. McGee playing it to the open side. After it hit his mask, jarring enough to have to take a shot like that in the head. It took him a millisecond to say, hey, I got to find where that rebound is. If you see that again, you watch his head. Here is a shot and a good save by Polivka off a nice play by Hare to go in there. Monraj Hare with that opportunity.
Again, you're getting a couple of these opportunities. You talk about pucks entering the danger area. Well, I'm telling you, sometimes they are. There's a shot Polivka with a great save, or solid save. Maybe not on the great variety, but a good one right there. You expect the goaltender to make that, and he did exactly that.
Hare with 99 career points, and Polivka standing tall in the net. From the Czech Republic, 19-year-old goaltender with 28 wins this year. Mueller, cross-ice pass and a redirect attempt in the slot. Goes over top of stick. And Victoria gets the puck out to the neutral zone. Carroll trying to corral it. Did for a moment, but now Brown, who's skating very well here for Victoria tonight, poked the puck up with one hand on his stick, and that allows Carroll to, well, again, have a chance in the neutral zone, but it went off his stick, and Stadnik's got it. Mueller now for Everett. Mirko Mueller. San Jose first-round pick. There's a centering pass by Carroll, doesn't get through, and in transition, a 3-on-2 breaking out here for Everett, but we got a whistle, and what do we have? Do we have...
It's offside.
Or is there too many men on the ice? Did we get a penalty? I'm not sure what we got there.
Oh, I'm not sure either, Dan. Well, Dave Lowry knows. Very satisfied that it isn't a penalty to his team, not a penalty to either team. Referee says play on after we drop the puck.
I probably missed something there. Cote. Up to Nelson. Nelson moving in. Nelson with Fisher. Fisher on the support of the puck trying to get there. Nelson has it. Crunk in the deep slot waiting for something to come out his way. Good job there by Everett's Ben Betker, but centering pass does come back out to the line. Cote will just put it behind the net. Crunk gobbles it up there. Switches it back for Nelson. Betker on him. Nelson, nice little turn, pivot there. Protects the puck very nicely. Nelson trying to move it in front. Betker gets position on him, and that position allows him to make that nice little play over to Juleson, who gets it out to the neutral zone.
Isn't it fun watching those battles to see who eventually comes up with a battle on the cycle? The offense or the defense?
Fushimi tries to gain the line. He can't. Kara, backhand pass right on the tape. Brought in by Cole McDonald. McDonald. Now he gets it over to Bykov. Bykov, a little room back of the net. Banks it off the boards out here to Pufal. Pufal, long shot. That goes wide. As again, Everett generating a lot of their offense from the blue line area. And that chance goes off the stick and off the side of the goalpost. Getting a stick on it there was Braden Lowe. Again from the line. Again an opportunity from a defenseman, and he puts it wide of the net. That was McDonald doing just that. Then the centering pass doesn't get there. McDonald wants more from this side. That's intercepted, and the lead pass is also intercepted for Victoria, and Pufal gets the pack up for Lowe. Lowe now. Lost it. Fans yelling for something down below us. Usually when they're yelling like this, they think that the other team should have got a penalty. Play on, say the refs, with 5.5 to go here in the second period. Each team with a goal in this period after Everett led 1-0 after 1. Gagnon trying to get position on his player. Sandu gets it out to the line. Again, a lot of time from the point. And again, the shot goes in. They score. It's 3-1 for Everett. I don't know who it hit this time, but the shot was taken by Kevin Davis, celebrating his birthday today. Davis shoots from the line and hits something to give Everett a 3-1 lead.
There must be a lot of players being screened out, because I've seldom seen a Victoria team give as much time and space to shooters from the point. I'm not so sure he's maybe calling for a high stick or not on this situation, but you're going to see the half battle at the wall there. Now look at the time, look at the space. You know, when that happens, there's just so much traffic that gets a chance to build up in front of the net. I mean, that's not even much of a shot. That's a flutter shot all the way.
And then it gets up high somehow. I don't see a high stick anywhere there, but...
Well, check that out. That looks like one of your tee shots, Dan. I mean, just kind of flutters.
It really does.
And doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I might drop another one, and it goes in the water, and then pretty soon we're just getting a little frustrated. And they're playing hockey again, so whoever thought it might have been a high stick was sort of not quite there, and therefore we'll wait for the announcement on the goal, see if it's the third defenseman tonight to score for Everett. Here it is.
His 13th goal of the season, scored by number 44, Zane Jones. Assist the plate at number 10, Tyler Sandu. And the number 38, Kevin Davis. Time of the scoring play, 14:52.
Okay, so it's not very often where the shooter gets the second assist, but that's what happened there. It hit two players on the way. It hit first Sandu, then it goes in off Jones after the shot taken by Kevin Davis. And so Everett has themselves a 3-1 lead. As for the high stick, I was being communicated that they were talking about the high stick, that they were complaining about not the puck going into the high stick. They were complaining about a player, a Victoria player, that had been potentially clipped by a high stick. Therefore, upset that there wasn't a penalty before the 3-1 Everett goal. So my apologies on that. Meantime, Everett trying to get it out of their own zone. That was a big goal for them to answer back. But Bill, you were on it first. I'm amazed how much offense is coming from the blue line.
Yeah, they just seem to know how to get. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint. I'm shocked at the room and the time that the Everett Silvertips are getting.
Here's Hodges moving in for a chance for his second goal of the period. And that's a save, and now Francouz can't hold the puck in at the line. Francouz. Now Hodges. Hodges waiting, developing this play. What a move! Oh, he just put it wide. Oh, that would have been a pretty finish. It was a spectacular scoring opportunity, all set up by himself, as the skill of Stephen Hodges was on display right there.
He's quick, he's talented, he's got the good hands, and Florida loves him enough to take him in the third round in the 2012 draft. He had one goal his first 14 games back. He was really concerned about it. No longer a concern. He's hit 20. He's got his 21st here tonight, and that's how close that young man, Stephen Hodges, came to getting his team within one. Fearless kid. And a pretty good collision there with his stripes. What are you doing? Get out of my way. And did the fans ever respond to that collision in this building?
Yeah, that sometimes happens, and I know they are in the way sometimes. There's more of them on the ice than there were a decade ago. Mueller, a little soft pass there. Sandu trying to work it in front. 2.5 minutes to go here in the second period. Held in. Soy can't get a stick on the puck. Soy sweeps at it, comes back out here to Mueller. Now behind the net. Sandu trying to work it in front, comes back out, long shot, that's turned aside. Sandu gets a rebound, tries to put it in front for Lawrencell. He can't. Brown getting possession of the puck. Pass goes down the ice. Fans getting a little grumpy here in Winnipeg, or Winnipeg in Victoria.
Probably grumpy there too.
I'd be more grumpy there, I think. Don't ask me how Winnipeg came around. I was just looking down at one of the birthplaces of one of the players in this game, and now we see Bloomquist rolling it down the ice. There's a hit, and the fans respond to that as McGee tries to rally up his group. Travis Brown is who I was thinking about. He is from Winnipeg. And the reason I was thinking about that is that when you look at these two teams, they have a combined 6 American-born players. Now that's one thing, but all 6 of them are on the Canadian team. Victoria has 6 U.S.-born players. Everett from Washington State has 0.
Yeah, we talked about 40-some players from the U.S. have played at least a game in the Western Hockey League. And you know, teams are doing such a good job of recruiting and drafting, you know, even the Bantam players in that situation down there. I've said this before, as far as the Western Hockey League is concerned, and the U.S. players, they're able to draft players west of the Mississippi River, and they've done such a good job. They hold the clinics now in the different spots, and again, a terrific face-off win there for Victoria. Nice, easy way to come out of your zone when you do that. You know, face-off wins, Dan, probably you can play probably 4 or 5 minutes more with a puck if you have a pretty good face-off record, and that's significant in the game of hockey.
Everett Silvertips leading this game 3-1. Now they are playing 3 games this weekend. This could be a first-round playoff matchup, but they could still be playing Spokane, and they could still be playing Seattle. They're all in play. If they play Seattle, which is their arch rivals, this would be the first time ever that those two teams have met in a playoff. So you know what they're kind of hoping for down there. An Everett, Seattle playoff. And I think they're both 5-5 against one another this year.
And if people don't know the geography of the place, the rinks are about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes apart. They'd have full buildings on that one, I know that.
You have to go back to February 16th, the last time Everett gave up more than 2 goals in a game. And they've only given up the 1 here through 2 periods tonight. So I know what Kevin Constantine was trying to say to Stu Walters earlier in the period, but because they do have offense, and you're seeing a lot of it from the blue line here tonight. I just think they're just a well-balanced team based on what we're seeing here in the first 2 periods, which come to an end, and the Everett Silvertips with 2 more in the second after 1 in the first. And there is goaltender Austin Lott skating into the dressing room area, his team leading 3-1. Now we go to WHL Central. Here again is Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Josh Winquist up to 90 points this season with an assist tonight. He'll chat with Stu Walters on the other side of the break. A conversation with the Victoria Royals head coach Dave Lowry and the WHL plays of the week. Zane Jones scoring against his former mates to make it 3-1 for the Silvertips. Through 40 on Levitt Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
And welcome back to Victoria, where after 40 minutes of play, the Everett Silvertips leading the Royals by a score of 3-1 with Silvertips forward Josh Winquist. And Josh, how would you describe the first 40 minutes here? Have you been pretty happy with your team's road effort so far?
Yeah, every time you can get a lead after 2 periods, it's good, because we've been pretty good after 2 if we're leading. And, you know, they're a pretty solid team, and we could end up facing them in the playoffs, so this is a good test for us.
You guys are a pretty structured team. It seemed like the game started opening up a little bit midway through that second period. How important was it for you guys to get that response goal?
Yeah, they started to take over and come with some confidence. So, you know, every time you can get a lucky bounce like that, it's good for your momentum.
Speaking of confidence, you picked up your 90th point of the season tonight. You set a single-season goal-scoring record for Silvertips with, you have at 45 right now. How much confidence are you playing with at this point?
Yeah, I've got some confidence right now. I've been playing with some pretty good line mates, and puck's been going in for me lately, and you can't complain.
I want to ask you about a big win earlier this week. I believe it was in Spokane, and you had not won there in 19 trips. How long had it been for you? And I believe you're the only member that was there when you last won.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Our last win there was when I was 16, so it felt pretty good to finally beat those guys in their barn, because like I said before, it's the weirdest rink I've ever played in my life.
Josh, thanks for this. Good luck in the final 20 minutes.
Thank you.
Head upstairs to Andy Neal and WHL Central.
Which is brought to you by Bobdale Gloves. Thanks very much, Stu, and to Josh as well. Well, the first 2 seasons behind the bench for Dave Lowry of the Victoria Royals have been record-setting years. 35 wins last year, set a franchise record, and now they upped it to 48 going into tonight. And before tonight's game, I had a chance to chat with the Royals bench boss. Well, Dave, we hear a lot from head coaches about the process of a team, but what's it been like for you to watch this team have the potential to take this step forward and obviously now have taken that step?
I think the big thing is we're extremely pleased at the advancement of our group, and just at the beginning of December we were a couple games over 500, and we were able to get on a roll and carry it over and sustain it through January.
You know, last week we saw Ben Walker with the 4 assists. When he's on, how dangerous of a guy is he on the ice for you?
I think he's one of the probably one of the fastest skaters, and he is, I think, the top guy shooting the puck in stride, probably in our league, and I haven't seen a lot of guys that are able to do it as efficiently as he is, and usually when he's skating, he's dragging his wingers with him.
Yeah. You guys had a big win against Kelowna this week, 4 for 4 in their arena. I mean, what is it about that matchup that worked out well for you guys against them this season?
I think the biggest thing is we won a game in there early this year, and for our group it was more about the confidence and knowing that if we played a certain way that we would give ourselves an opportunity to win, and I think the biggest step forward we took against them this year was our disciplined play, and last year we'd have some really emotional games and we were always on the wrong end of the special teams game, and this year we tried to make a correction in that, and we were able to do that.
How much did getting to 100 points mean to the team, and how much does getting to 50 wins mean to the team going forward?
Well, I think they're nice accomplishments, and the 100 points is nice. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't something that at the beginning of the year we talked about setting out to try and attain. We just wanted to make sure that we had made improvements on our game from last year, and we wanted to make sure that we were moving forward in the direction that we would be happy with, and we've seen a lot of improvement in a lot of our individual play, but also our team play as well.
We hear about the winning culture. Has that been developed here, or is that something that comes with playoff success?
Well, I think what you have to do is you have to establish it somewhere first, and we wanted to, last year we wanted to change the identity of our group, and we wanted to get our guys to understand that in order to win in this league, and this is a tough league to win in, that you have to be ready to compete and battle every night, and our guys took steps forward as a group last year, and the carryover with the guys that came this year, they had a year under their belt. They knew what the expectations were, not only from Cam but the coaching staff, and that was to work every night, give ourselves an opportunity to be in every game at the end of the evening, and we've now proven that we can play at a high level, and we can sustain a high level for an extended period of time. And everybody knows that winning in the playoffs is the be-all and end-all, and that's usually where it's talked about the most.
This is potentially a first-round matchup with Everett. Can you take what you saw against them New Year's Day forward if you do meet them, or does it have to matter what happens in these two games to kind of get a read on what kind of matchup they provide?
Well, I think we all know that it's going to be a low-scoring affair, and the one game was we win 1-0 in a shootout. So they pay close attention to detail on the defensive side of the puck. But in saying that, they're not a team that is they don't just think defense, right? But they're very consistent in their approach, and they're a team that I see a lot of similarities to National Hockey League teams. They like to close down the neutral zone, but their game is built on transition, and they've got some really quick and dynamic forwards.
Dave, thanks for this. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks so much.
Thanks to Dave Lowry for joining us inside the Everett Silvertips dressing room, nursing a 3-1 lead on Victoria. Here on Levin Machinery, WHL on Shaw. Well, if this is a first-round playoff preview, we're getting quite an appetizer tonight. 3-1 Everett leads on the road. They will finish off the home-and-home tomorrow night in Everett. Bob Dale Gloves, WHL Central. Well, with 322 goals on the year, the Portland Winterhawks are the highest-scoring team in the WHL, and they kick off the WHL's Plays of the Week on a nifty effort from Brendan Leipzig.
For Alex Shaneborn, driving at the heart of the defense. Shaneborn with speed. Pass for Leipzig to the front, backhand score!
Forsberg gets one of the assists. It's Tanner Eberle's 20th goal of the season. He's at the score!
Reinhardt, top of the line, puts it towards the net, bouncing puck in front.
Christian in front, he's pooped a shot! And a save comes out.
Krieger out of position, he's able to put it home to get the weak king right
Corner with it. Ryan Olsen to the goal!
Too many men. Ice tower play, 1 for 4 for signal collision. That scores!
+2 in this particular game. Face off one by Smokey.
Left side, Franco. Skates the left circle. Now he's allowed to get to the slot. Backhand shot, scores!
Keeping the puck in, setting the tone, and
Harris hit him. He's hit hard by Colby.
Stewart's 4th of the year in his first goal and point.
Rasmus loses it. Here's Miette, tripped up on the play. It comes. Sanvino across the shot. Oh my goodness, what a save!
Winquist behind the knee of Breakaway. Josh Winquist moves it backhand and scores!
Drops it now out in front. Ramsey scores!
He'll be to Rigby, right page of the circle. In front, Severson!
Loose in front. Samuelson scores!
And up on the left side. Scan Fazer, he loses it. Curtis Wall giving it a break. Here's Wall, shoots, he scores!
Connor Bleakley in the zone, Pats up now with an opportunity, shorthanded, they score!
The T-Bird zone, the line of move on. Vancouver blue line, the shot by Atwell, and he will score.
Was able to kick that puck into the corner, they score! Connor Bleakley!
The tab in the front.
Onside left wing with a puck, the shot by Angel. That shot scores!
Merkley gets in behind the defense. Merkley scores!
With Walt. Walt for Bass. Here's Walt. Over for us. Backhand shot. He scores!
Shano gains the zone. Looking for the trailing Dirk. He's got a breakaway. Score!
Vancouver zone. On the right circle. One hand in front. They score. Valerie.
Joining the Raiders. And his first goal since he's found the net in this.
Now Mickey again with a pass to Walker. Comes out in front. Touchdown!
Clear one at first. Knocks off an Ellen center. Either two.
Frank Sherback. Across. Thompson shot. Scores!
Well, 8 other games in the Western Hockey League. The Prince Albert Raiders get a 4-point night from both Leon Draisaitl and Colin Valcourt in the 7-2 win over the Saskatoon Blades. First half of a home-and-home between those two. Big win for the Raiders, who pull into a tie with Idle Red Deer for 8th. Brandon gets a huge win on the road in Regina, down 3-1 after 1. Eric Roy, the OT winner, 4-3. The Wheat Kings win, so they won back-to-back games. Moose Jaw falling in Swift Current tonight, so the Broncos have won their 3rd straight game, but with that point for Regina, they win the East Division, so the Broncos now know they won't be the East Division winners this year, but a big win for them nonetheless. They're trying to surpass Kootenay, who have gone into overtime with the Calgary Hitmen. Calgary was up a pair in that game, but that one's now bound for overtime. So with that point, Kootenay and Swift Current are tied with 83. There you see Red Deer and Prince Albert both with 73 points. Rebels and Oil Kings start a home-and-home tomorrow and wrap things up on Sunday. Meanwhile, on the Western Conference side, the Spokane Chiefs, through 40 minutes of play, have a 3-2 lead on the Tri-City Americans. Mitch Holmberg, a goal and an assist. He's up to 62 on the year. Kamloops with a 2-1 lead through 40, playing against the Prince George Cougars tonight. First half of a home-and-home. Kelowna Rockets now lead 3-1 on the Vancouver Giants. Rourke Chartier has made it 3-1 for the Rockets. Portland Winterhawks with a 1-0 lead on the Seattle Thunderbirds. Seattle 3 points ahead of Everett coming into tonight. So if the Silvertips hold on to this lead, and if Portland knocks off Seattle in regulation, it would only be 1 point between those two, although Spokane certainly is in the running as well, as they're up in their game. Meanwhile, Player of the Week, brought to you by Denny's, is Leon Draisaitl. I just mentioned a 4-point night for him tonight, so he keeps on a roll after 5 goals and 9 points in just 3 games, and he's the first Raider now up to 103 points on the season to 100 points in a year. First since Steve Kelly back in 1996. And RE/MAX is proud to support the Western Hockey League and excited to offer fans a chance to win $20,000 in home entertainment prizes. To enter, visit WHL.ca and click on the RE/MAX Home Team Contest button. RE/MAX, official realtors of the WHL. Dan, Bill, and Stu on the other side of the break for the 3rd period. Everett by 2 on Victoria. On Levin Machinery, WHL on Shaw.
It's a sellout tonight in Victoria, but the crowd hasn't had a whole lot to cheer about. They had the one Hodges goal there in the 2nd period, but credit Everett for keeping the crowd pretty quiet.
Yeah, they've done a nice job, and they get the 2-0 goal here on a power play. This is Pufall at the point. Why don't you watch number 17 on the high penalty kill? Hold it right there. Winquist, 21, gets the puck. Top of your screen, Soy. He doesn't know whether to get Kara at the top of the slot or Pufall at the point, and he gets caught in no man's land. Pufall, with all that time, makes it 2-0 because the penalty kill just broke down a little bit. Now, this is all Austin Carroll. Boy, does he go through a bunch of sticks here. Finally loses the puck, and how quickly does Stephen Hodges pick it up? When you see this in real time, folks, he picks his backhand forehand, and it's not on his forehand for a split second. It's the back of the net. That made it 2-1. Now, you get again the Victoria guys all back in their own zone. Who's going to get the point man, Dan? We talk about why are they so wide open. Axel Bloomquist, I'll go out there. Well, you either go all out or you go stay back in and let your goalie see the puck. He does a half-fake job on it, doesn't get out there the way he should, and the shot is deflected on the way from the point by Zane Jones, and it's a 3-1 Everett lead.
Deflected twice, as a matter of fact. Sandu got his stick on it or something on it. So the defensemen have created all 3 goals, as Bill just said. 3 shots from the point. One of them went off a Victoria player in the 1st period. The last one went off 2 Everett forwards in the 2nd period. We start this period with the teams at full strength. Everett this year, when leading after 2, have a record of 30 wins and just 1 defeat. In fact, these 2 teams combined after 2, just 1 loss in 63 wins. I mean, these teams know how to take it home. But I will say this, Victoria has rallied 6 times when trailing after 2 periods. So let's see what happens here tonight. Offensive zone face-off for the Everett Silvertips. They are going in to take the draw. And one cleanly by Victoria. Hickett's leading them out of their own zone. Shot in there by Jack Palmer, who hasn't had much ice time. He was on his own side of center, they say, so it's icing call. We have Carroll now mixing it up a little bit with Noah Juleson.
You know, we talk about how tough it is. You just read the stats coming from behind after 2 periods. No team in the CHL has done it more in the last 2 years than Dave Lowry's Victoria team. Last year, trailing after 2, they came back and won 11 times. I went back 15 years in all 3 leagues to see if anybody had done it better. Nobody had. They've done it 6 times this year, 17 times in the last 2 seasons. Dave Lowry's team has come from behind in the 3rd period. They did it in Kelowna the other night when they won. So they're trailing 3-1 here against a very good Everett team.
How many years did you go back?
15.
Were the golf courses closed that day or something?
I had my time in space.
Did you? 15 years.
Well, you had to check that out. I'd never heard of 11. I mean, if you win 6, if you win, I think 7 was the next closest. Come from behind after 40.
And you're talking about my tee shot earlier. Here's Palmer for wrap around, and Lotz is right there. Oh boy, Palmer just about made that happen. Jack Palmer on the wraparound. You can't quite believe it. He had Lotz, and then Lotz scrambled back at the end to make the save.
I think Kancik misses the net on purpose on this shot. And boy, Palmer says, thank you very much. And, you know, normally you see the goaltender with a pad get over there to make that save. This is Lotz getting his arm over there to make that save. Unbelievable.
And I'm sure Palmer is thinking, well, if I can't get the angle to wrap it around, I want to bank it in off him at least. And a good job there by Lotz to make sure it did not bank in off his arm and into the net. So it stays 3-1, and the defensive zone face-off for Everett 1. Pufall flipping the puck down the ice. This will be icing called on the Silvertips. You know, Everett, 10 straight games, 2 goals against or less. That's pretty impressive when you come into the 3rd period in this building tonight, and that is still intact. Remember, Everett's won 5 straight on the road. They've won 7 straight games. They are so hot right now that I'm wondering, and I'm going to ask Bill this question, and he can ponder it through some of the 3rd period. Who do you like better going into the playoffs? The Everett Silvertips, who are the hottest team in the league right now, but not as high up in the standings, or the Victoria Royals with 48 wins and 100 points, but flying a little under the radar that has been cast so much by Kelowna and Portland in the West? Who would you rather be a fan of right now with their playoff chances? That team in white or the dark team, the Everett Silvertips?
Yeah, it's you know, it is a tough one. You get on a roll going into the playoffs, and boy, that can make such a huge difference. And I don't think you can be better coached than both of these teams are. So that you know, really is a tough one. I do like the complete game that the Royals have. No question about that. And both teams are relatively injury-free at this point.
Mueller setting up from the blue line. Well, what's that old adage? Not where you finish, but how you finish. And if they hold on tonight, there's a mix-up, and here's Soy taking a shot, rebound, and then they score! Former Silvertip Mitch Skapski making it a 1-goal game as they crash the net. Victoria scores their 2nd of the hockey game.
There's the giveaway. It happens right at the center ice area. If you turn the puck over and then have a player fall, you got some real issues. That puck's got to get to the net. It does that, and you know, it's so easy for Skapsi on the far right of your screen to overskate this play. It's so simple. All you young kids that are watching this, you see number 8 there, throw the brakes on, right at the goal line. His stick is still in position in the paint. It's so easy to peel out of that play, get in the corner, and that opportunity never is presented to you. Great job by Skapski to stay in that position and with that goal.
What a job by this line, and what a lift it will be potentially for Victoria to get a 4th line goal here in a tight game. Skapski from Soy and Fushimi. Fushimi in the neutral zone got it to Soy, and Soy got it in front at 2:11 of this 3rd period, and here they come again. And over the line is Nelson. I mean, you could speak to that too, Bill. Your bench, getting that lift from that line, scoring a goal against the stingy Everett team to bring you back in to try to get your third period ignited. Carroll now for Hickett. Shot on goal is turned aside by Locks. He got his blocker on it. And a good hit by Juleson on Hickett's. And Juleson comes up with the puck once more. Juleson flips it out to the center ice area. Hodges misses the pass there. Controlled by Betker. Juleson. Braden Lowe flipping it in. Hickett's first to it around the boards. Over here to Carroll. In full flight is Hodges. Here he comes. Can he break the defense? Hodges putting on the brakes. Tries to protect the puck. Gets it back to Hickett's. Hickett's over to Brown. Brown in front for Palmer. Doesn't get there. Intercepted. Here comes Everett back the other way. Led by Cole McDonald. McDonald dishes it off. A shot is turned aside. That was Bykov taking the shot. There's going to be a penalty on the play as the Everett player goes in hard. Cross-check the infraction. Victoria will be shorthanded.
I don't know if this is what you call finishing the check or not. I know in years gone by it certainly was. Brown taking his man to the back wall. It's a penalty now, the way McDonald certainly went into the boards. But, he's pretty quick to look up and see if somebody saw that as well. Not so sure Dave Lowry is in agreement with that play. I don't think he's yelling at his own team, is he? But it was certainly a takeout by Brown against the back wall, puts Everett on a power play.
And it's their third power play. They're 1 for 2 with the man advantage, and they've answered back after Victoria made it a 1-goal game in the second period. Now Victoria's made it a 1-goal game once more here in the third. Can the Silvertips answer back on this power play? Winquist. Out of Pufall. Been a lot of good Silvertips, but I don't think there's been a better one in this game than the player with the puck right now. Matt Pufall. Nicolishin trying to gain some ground. He does. In over the line. Here's Kara. Kara waiting. Dishes it off. Tries to get it back again. Held in nicely. Mueller gloving it down. Gets the puck down low there for Winquist. Back to Mueller. Over there to Winquist. In front. Kara's shot is turned aside. That was a pretty play as Kara got himself into a soft spot waiting for that pass. Here's Nicolishin now. Nicolishin. Back it goes. Mueller. Nicolishin back for Mueller. As they pass it off, he's got room now. He shoots. And that went off something over top the net and out of play.
We've been talking about the way the Silvertip team has used the points on the power play. In fact, they've used it well all night. This time they get the puck out of the corner of the rink. Winquist reads the ice so well. Where does he go with it? First to the point. He's going to get it back again. Where does it go now? To Kara. Right in that soft spot you were talking about. Good screen in front of the net as well.
Still 49 seconds to go in the power play. Second unit out there. Mueller gets the puck now. Hare. Hare. As he takes it off his skates, Mueller gets it back to Hare. Hare cross-ice pass, and that's off the skates as well. Now they work it around. Hare getting the puck. Bykov over on the far side, but Mueller fakes it the first time. Back for Hare. A little bit of room. Shot. Blocker save. Rebound. Swept away by, or at least guided away by Fisher. 18 seconds to go in the power play. Huge kill here potentially for Victoria, but they're not out of it yet. Mueller winding up. Bykov now over on the far side. Mueller doesn't get the one-timer away. Hare. Bykov going to the bench now. He's decided to peel off. Penalty over. Didn't want to be tired. That was a pretty smart play. They had possession of the puck, and you don't see that very often. They made a change while they had possession on the power play. They just don't want to get caught tired at the end of the penalty.
And then again, on top of that, notice how Everett defends now with a 1-2-2 forecheck. Very smart play.
That's coaching. That is coaching, coaching, coaching. Icing called on Victoria. Let's go downstairs and here is Stu Walton.
Thank you very much, Dan. Talked with Kevin Constantine before the game, and the playoff matchups are still obviously set to be determined here. Silvertips can get as high as fourth with 2.5 games remaining here, 7 periods of hockey. If they end up leapfrogging Spokane, who has is 1 point ahead of them, they are playing tonight, and they only have 1 game left. They will obviously play Seattle for the first time, as you mentioned earlier, but he made no bones about it that the ownership would probably love that matchup much better in terms of rivalry and revenue. But of course, he's not saying he would prefer the matchup. He just mentioned that softly.
Well, the only two matchups that are determined that I can see so far is Kelowna versus Tri-City, and Vancouver will play Portland, and that's on both sides of the Rockies. We do not know any other matchups as we speak. Hodges going in to try to get the puck. McDonald gets there first. Carroll's got it. Carroll puts it into the slot area. Palmer can't get it, but Hickes takes a shot. Rebound in front. Hodges just couldn't get his stick cleanly on it. He had lots going one way. Hodges taken down. Hickes yelling for a penalty to the back official. Neither put their arm up. Should mention that Everett is the least penalized team in the league, and they've only been shorthanded once here tonight.
Both these teams low in penalty minutes, and you know, for the kind of game they play, that's impressive.
Fontaine brings it in over the line, throws it in front of the net, and the rebound is right there, but unable to get their stick on it was Lidahl. Lidahl had his chance to get his stick on, but it was just tied up. Now it's Fisher. As we near the 8-minute mark of the third period, Fisher lugging it out. Nelson finishing the job by getting it deep inside the Everett zone. Stripped of the puck there are the Silvertips. Davis, here's Nelson moving in. Nelson turnaround shot, and that stopped, or it hit something in front. I think Lotz made the save after Davis was stripped of the puck.
Nice job by Crunk on the back check, stripping of the puck. Absolutely right.
Crunk in there now, so too is Fisher, or Nelson, I should say. That's Nelson coming up with the puck. Gave it away, and here comes Everett back the other way. Leading the way is Braden Lowe from Richmond, British Columbia. Lowe puts the puck in, and then it's gobbled up by Walker, and he cuts right in front of his own net. He almost gets stripped. In fact, he does lose possession of the puck. Lowe's got it now. Lowe gets it down low for Lawrence Sell. He tries to work it in front, goes back out here for a chance, and a shot up high, and it's gobbled up there by Polivka as he made the save. It wasn't quite as high as that one in the second period, as he took that one off his shoulder. In the second, he took one right off the face mask. Lawrence Sell shot is blocked. Potential first-round playoff matchup, and if this was a playoff game, we'd all be loving this one. Like it already, very late in the season. Centering pass, they score! It's all tied! And again, it's this line. Tyler Soy finishes it off. 3-3 in Victoria tonight.
You know, it's quite incredible here, folks. Another Victoria goal and another Victoria player on the ice to start this whole sequence. And again, it's the fourth line. You saw it earlier. Far top of your screen. There goes the Victoria Royal on the ice. There's the forecheck. He gets up, stays with it, gets it to the front. That's twice in 2 goals. There's been a guy, like I said, down on the ice, get back up again, keep the play alive, and the puck ends up in the back of the net. Oh my goodness. Soy, Skapsky, Fushimi.
And that was Bloomquist out there that time, Bill. He mixed that up a little bit. Bloomquist centers the puck. And Soy finishes it off. His 14th goal of the season. Now there you go. So it's McGee and Bloomquist, but they had put Soy out with them, or it was a carryover at the time.
I think they put Tyler Soy out there. Tyler Soy's that kind of a player. You could put him out there with Bloomquist in the game.
Well, I'm glad you did your 15 years of research, because they've come back again in the third period, or at least they've come back to tie for now. Not all the way there, of course. Davis from the line, and shot, and stop, rebound! Over top the net! How was that missed? And guess who missed it? It's their leading scorer, Joshua Winquist, and he can't believe that he missed one of the easier opportunities I'm sure he's had all season, and he is set. Wow. Stay with us, more to come. 3-3 tie tonight on Shaw.
Well, they call them gooders, and we've got one here tonight. We're tied at 3. Everett opened the scoring in period number 1. Again, a shot from the blue line. Noah Juleson is going to bury that puck as he gets this play through a whole bunch of traffic. It really goes off Francouz. 1-0. That's how it ended in period number 1. A lot of room, a lot of time, a lot of space for defenseman Matt Pufall makes it 2-0 for Everett. Really a high skill goal there, boy. That's Stephen Hodges getting Victoria within one, and then still another goal. This one deflected by Zane Jones. That's how it ended after 2 periods. Cue the comeback. Mitch Skapski, 3-2 at 2:11. And then at 9:07, Tyler Soy has tied the game. But Everett came this close. Josh Winquist had an opportunity right here.
How does he miss?
How does he miss that to put them ahead?
This one
4-3.
Right there is in the left side of your picture. Net is wide open. You don't see Winquist on that look, but he's wide open, and there's his there's his head looking right up at the ceiling here at the Save on Foods Memorial Center. And the game remains 3-3. Well, now the fans are really into it. Everett, by the way, only has 1 shot on goal here in the 3rd period. They've been outshot by a margin of 6-1. 2 goals on 6 shots here for Victoria. Last half of the period. Hodges pinned up a little bit, lost the puck, comes back out to the blue line. Here's Davis now reaching for it. He'll have to just dump it behind the net. Cote waiting for it there, but he's being checked at the same time, fell down a little bit. In on him was Carson Stadnick, and the puck comes out here to center. Palmer trying to get up, but he couldn't. Here comes Winquist. No doubt mad, still missing that chance. And you know how goal scorers are when they get mad. They try to get even.
Yeah.
Let's come back out here to the blue line. Juleson getting it over on the far side. Long shot, that's picked out by Betker. His shot is stopped by Patrick Polivka. Well, again, you get a better look at the kind of chance that Winquist missed. Remember, he's sitting with 45 goals, and this is how close he comes to number 46.
Yeah, he just puts it right over the top. He's got Polivka sliding out of the way. Josh Winquist is the 4th highest scoring 20-year-old in the Western Hockey. He trails Mitch Holmgren of Spokane, Todd Fiddler of Prince George, and Graham Black of Swift Current.
Holmberg tonight getting his 62nd goal of the season. Congratulations to him. He's the points champion for this year as well. And by the way, had Winquist scored there, that would have been his 100th WHL goal. Puck comes back out to Juleson, long shot. Lowe trying to dish it, or dig it on his skates there. He couldn't, and he tried to dish it to his teammate afterwards. And now McGee going in for it. McGee now Bloomquist, hard pass through the goal mouth area. And that's gobbled up now by Hare. Manraj Hare. In front of the net, they score! It's 4-3 Everett as they went right down the ice. And Hare finishes it off. He started it way back in his own zone, and then he took off. He went right to the Victoria net, and it paid off. The Silvertips lead 4-3.
Well, a lot of good things happen. A, when you take pucks wide, and B, when you get somebody going to the net way back in their own zone. This is Bykov, and look at Hare go right up the ice. And all he does there is redirect that puck. And, you know, folks, that's a race that you have to win as a defenseman. Just being in the area isn't good enough. And really, I think that was Ben Walker on the back check. He's got to get a little bit of help, and you don't get Hare stick off the ice. That's what happens. And for Manfred Hare, what is that, point number 100 as a Western Hockey League player. But more importantly, a 4-3 Everett lead.
He had 15 goals last year. He's now matched that with his 15th goal of this season. 11:42 the time of the scoring play. The Silvertips, who are red hot coming into the game, they bent here in the 3rd, but they haven't broken, and here they are again. They score! They come right back and score. Nikolishin finishes it off. Ivan Nikolishin scoring the 2nd real quick goal for Everett. This one coming at 12:09, so 27 seconds after the Hare goal. It's now a 2-goal lead once more for Everett.
Wow, what terrific puck movement. You see that Kara has the puck, gets it in the top of the slot area. He draws a lot of tension. He throws it wide to Winquist. Where does that puck go? It goes east-west, right across the goal mouth. Ivan Nikolishin buries it, his 18th of the season, and that quickly these two teams that are known more, as far as I'm concerned, for their defensive play, have really delivered a pretty offensive package here tonight.
And I think that's what Kevin Constantine was trying to say a little earlier, too. 27 seconds apart, those two goals. Let's pick up this one.
Scored by number 89, Ivan Nikolishin. Assist in that play to number 21, Joshua Winquist. And to number 7, Dejar Kara.
All right, so Winquist has 2 points tonight. And that gives him 91 points, 2 behind the Everett single season record held by Zach Hamill. So 91 points for Winquist and a 2-goal lead for Everett. And once again, a very quiet, down sellout crowd. But here's a turnover and a shot on goal is stopped by Lotz off Hodges, who continues to fight for chance after chance tonight. And now he's getting up a little slowly after the most recent one.
Look at this line rush by the Everett Silvertips, all of them. This is Kara with the puck, throws it wide. Everybody forgets about Nikolishin, and that is just a seeing eye pass that Winquist puts across, and Nikolishin recognizes that, points to him, says, hey, good job getting that over to me.
Now on the back check, Nikolishin gets it behind the net. Betker tied up a little bit. Nikolishin with possession of the puck. Now it goes way over there for Juleson. He shoots it in. Pickets. Now to Austin Carroll. And the Royals out of their own zone. 3-on-2 through the center ice area. Hodges in over the line for Brown. Lotz takes it off the shoulder. Goes way up high. Swing and a miss by Brown as the puck finally came down. And McDonald on his backhand settles it down for Everett. Here they come out of their own zone. Kara. Now Nikolishin. A little bit of room. His shot is blocked. Carroll gobbles it up. Pass over here for Walker. Walker in over the line. McGee heading to the net. Walker hold. Drop pass. Carroll shot. And that's a good Fontaine block for Everett. And the pass picked off read nicely there by Dawson Liedall. And the Saskatoon boy gets it out to the center ice area. 5:40 to go in the third. Well, you know, you come back once in the third period. Can you do it twice?
That's a bigger mountain now than it's ever been, but don't count these guys out. But that's too good a checking team. You know, the Everett Silvertips play for Constantine and for Dave Lowry. Checking is of paramount importance. Close the gap right there, turn the puck over in that situation. You can't do it much better than there, providing that puck comes out of that zone down.
Brown takes his man down twice in the center ice area and then pushes him a third time low, and McGee comes in to say, how do you do? And McGee has something going. He chops it low and goes down, and McGee's going to take a really foolish penalty. That is not smart. They were working low over 3 or 4 times, and McGee just wasn't satisfied till he took a penalty. I mean, it's just a bad call or a bad play by McGee with his team. 5 minutes to go, and we'll look at this here. See, there's low, number 11, there's a cross check, and now I'm going to slash it till I get a penalty. Now these two teams going to the playoffs, Victoria has had 30 playoff games in their life. They've only won 6. They've never won a series. They've lost twice to Kamloops, twice to Vancouver. They lost to Spokane. They lost to Tri-City. Everett, on the other hand, they've gone 7 seasons without winning a series. They missed last year. They've lost 10 straight playoff games. And so the last time they won a playoff series was 2007 when they beat Spokane. That's what's on the line here, as this weekend will come to an end and these two clubs get ready for playoffs. It'll be interesting to see how both of them do, because they haven't had, in Victoria Chilliwack case, they've never had any playoff series success. And in the case of the Everett Silvertips, nothing doing since 2007. Power play is the 4th of the night. And the McGee penalty, I mean, come playoff time, Bill, that's unforgivable. The McGee penalty.
Yeah, I mean, frustration. McGee having such a terrific year. I gotta believe he had this game marked, that this was one that was very, very important to this Victoria team.
And he's been quiet tonight.
He has.
He's came in here pretty hot, fought 15 points in his last 11 games.
Brandon McGee is only the 3rd franchise player to get 200 points. The other two, Kevin Sunder, Ryan House. That's a kind of career 19-year-old Brandon McGee's had here in Victoria, but an ill-timed penalty, you're right.
Mind you, it is a 2-goal lead already, but here's Mueller with it. If Everett scores here, that'll definitely put it away if it's not already. They work it around, and Mueller takes a shot, broken stick shot, and that results in Victoria getting the puck and shooting it down the ice. Well, it looks like the 8th straight victory is going to go on the books here. If they can nurse this home, they've got 3 minutes to do it. It'll be 8 straight wins. Be 10-0-1 in their last 11. 13-2-1 in their last 16. I don't want to play this team if I'm going into the playoffs.
And still home ice at stake for the Everett Silvertips. They'd love to catch that 4th spot. By the way, that guarantee they talk about for 6th spot and the season ticket renewal rebates, Dan, that goes to 4th or better next year in the guarantee. They really like their hockey club in Everett.
I think that's a great give back. Can we suggest some NHL teams do that?
Hit by Hickinson.
McGee out of the penalty box, so with 2:25 to go, let's see if Victoria's McGee can make amends here. McGee going wide, putting on the brakes, throws it to Carroll. Carroll from back of the goal, trying to work it in front with his reach. He goes down, tries to draw a penalty, could not. And now it is Pufall getting it out to center. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. Here come the Royals. Hodges in over the line. Hodges shot up off the face of the goaltender. You don't see that very often. Both goalies have taken shots into the head tonight. Unless my eyes deceive me, I'm pretty sure that caught him in the mask. Brown going back to get it.
You know, what a difference, Danny, the cage makes now for the goaltenders. The old mask, you know, that was went flat against your face.
Look at Walker
go.
That time does not go off the mask, went off the place south of the midsection, and he holds on to stop the play. Well, twice tonight we have seen goalies in this one net, once in the second period, once in the third. And here's Hodges right off the head. Boink.
Yeah, there you are. Again, pretty good focus by both Polivka and Lotz on that situation. You know, you get hit in the mask like that, and you stay focused, stay upright, stay in that position.
Timeout, Victoria.
Kevin Constantine, you talked about the series wins. And one thing about the Everett Silvertip team, Dan, they have made the playoffs every year that they've been in the league. But
not last year.
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they made the playoffs. They were 8th. They've been 8th the last 3 years. But Kevin Constantine won 7 playoff series with the Everett Silvertip team. They never won a series after that.
Right.
Yeah, they were 8th the last
Portland
3 years.
Year.
Down to you, Stu.
Yeah, guys, just talked to Kevin Constantine, Silvertips head coach, before the game, and you guys have referenced the ownership, the promotion they had with the season tickets. If you didn't finish 6 or higher, they would get $100 back in a refund. Well, Constantine said credit to the ownership. He did not hear from them once during the season as towards any pressure to keep the team in 6th or above, etc. He said credit to them, nor should he have heard from them, but he did say no communication with them and no pressure on that whatsoever.
After the timeout, the goal is empty. But so far, Royals unable to set up with the extra attack. You can see the time left, minute 10. Off this glass and out to center. We invite you to keep checking all the places you check for our playoff matchup in the first round, which will happen next week. 4 rounds on Shaw. We'll be making that announcement very soon. All right, well, it's a rare night when you see both goalies have to make one off your face or your head, and there's the Mueller shot, boink, in the second period, and that one here in the third. Heads up.
By the way, Kevin Constantine made Jeopardy one time, famous television show. His quote, "Hockey players speak 2 languages, English and profanity." He was the guy on Jeopardy actually got it right. It was a Kevin Constantine quote. I think it was also Kevin with a quote, "Will beats skill." And I mean, he's just been a great, great addition to the Western Hockey League, the Everett Silvertip team. Here's a chance.
And it's Nelson turning, holding, drop pass shot, saved by Lutz. And he holds on to stop it.
Great play by Nelson in that position to just hang on to that puck and read it properly. Started by Walker. You're in all kinds of traffic there. He does that so well. He protects the puck beautifully. Did you see the 3 places he scanned the ice to see where to drop that puck? Well done, Logan Nelson.
The Everett Silvertips are going to go to 85 points. They did make the playoffs with 57 points last year. And now empty net chance for Winquist, and he puts it wide of the net. Well, there was lots of guys on him, but he is out there for a chance on the empty net. And we'll see if he gets one more shot at it. Number 21 in the dark uniform, but more importantly for Everett, they just want to hold on here. Comes back up to McGee, puts it towards the net. 7 seconds to go. Brown on the far side, throws it in front of the net. And Winquist will have to hurry. He's told to shoot it, and he did. He put it wide at the buzzer. I don't think that would have counted anyway. But the Everett Silvertips, who gave up 2 in the third to make it a 3-all tie, respond with 2 goals in 27 seconds. And they win this game 5-3. And the Everett Silvertips have won 8 straight games. They continue to be the hottest club in the Western Hockey League. And they're out there to congratulate their winning goalie, who's been in goal for all games in this streak. And out at center ice, you can see the salute that the Royals are giving their fans on this, their final home game of the regular season. But then they're saying thanks, and they're saying also we'll see you next Saturday, because we'll be having playoffs in this building.
Yeah, that's 22 wins and 11 losses for the Victoria Royals on home ice. Great, great season. And Dan, for this Everett Silvertip team, that's 4 wins in a row on the road where they've scored at least 4 goals. If you think this is a team that can only play defensive hockey, they've done a great job. The 4-2 win at Tri-City, the 5-3 win in Seattle, 4-2 at Spokane the other night, which had to be a big, big lift of a giant ape on their shoulders, and now the 5-3 win here in Victoria. Don't sell this Everett Silvertip team short.
And don't forget, they've only been outshot 20 times this year, so it's not a team that just sits back and sees what will happen. Post-game reaction coming up.
And welcome back to Victoria, where the Everett Silvertips have just defeated the Royals by a score of 5-3. Here with Silvertips captain Matt Pufall. And Matt, how would you describe that overall road game for your club tonight?
I thought we came out really strong in the first 2 periods. The boys were rolling. We were hitting back. They're a big physical team, and we did the exact same thing. But we let off in the third, and that's kind of been our habit lately. And we gotta make sure we focus on that coming into playoffs, because we can't let that happen.
Want to talk about your game, a big block shot and your 14th goal of the season to make it 2-0 in that second period. But first, that block shot, that looked pretty painful. Where did you take that?
I just took it on the inside of the leg there. It was a penalty kill, and they got a good power play, and they shoot lots, and they got some good shots out there. So I was just trying to get in the lane, make it easy on our goaltender.
Were you surprised that this game opened up for 8 goals after just the 1-0 first period, where it seemed pretty tight checking?
Yeah, for sure. Especially we're 2 good defensive teams, and especially Victoria. They clog up the middle pretty well. They make it pretty tough for us to enter the zone, but I guess it kind of opened up, and we found each other's weak spots, and we put it in the back of the net tonight.
How about the resolve of your team, allowing Victoria to get back in it at 3-3 here in the third period, and you guys did not collapse?
Yeah, we had a bad start, just like I said, but we just have to have a big bounce back, and I guess that's where our veterans have to step up, and that's what they did there. Man Rush Hare with a huge goal up the middle, and that got us going again, and we just have to keep feeding off that kind of stuff.
This could be the possible 3-6 matchup. I know playoffs aren't set as of yet, but would you welcome this physical matchup with the Royals?
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight was just like a playoff game. They're the fun games to be a part of. Big, physical, lots of goals, lots of tight defense. It's just those are the fun games to be a part of. We love to play these guys in playoffs. They're a good matchup.
Well, you guys could also still catch Spokane and or Seattle here. 3 games in 3 nights. Looking forward to closing out this regular season with a tough schedule here.
Yeah, absolutely. The next 2 games are huge for us. Even if we do come in that 4 or 5 spot, that saves us a lot of travel time. Seattle's only 30-40 minutes down the road, and that's huge, sleeping in our own beds every night. But the way we look at it, we're going to approach it the same way. We're going to come out hard the first game of playoffs, and we're just going to try to dictate the play from the start.
Thanks very much for your time, Matt, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Guys, Matt Pufall with a big game in the Everett Silvertips 5-3 win over the Royals. Let's head upstairs to Andy Neal, WHL Central.
Thank you kindly, Stu, and congrats to Matt Pufall, the captain for the Everett Silvertips, playing like it tonight with a goal and big defensive effort from him as well. And it also, the win tonight for the Silvertips ends their 4-game losing streak against Victoria head-to-head. So a big win moving forward. They will wrap up the home-and-home tomorrow night in Everett. Well, the Cal Tire 3-star selections from tonight's Silvertips 5-3 win. Ivan Nikolitin is the #1 star with a goal and 2 assists. His marker was the one that iced it to make it 5-3. Tyler Soy with a goal and an assist. He tied it in the third for Victoria. And Matt Pufall, the 3rd star tonight. Big goal this evening for the Silvertips, who get their 38th win of the season. We'll tell you the out-of-town story when we come back here on Levin Machinery WHL on Shaw. Bob Dale Gloves out-of-town scoreboard tonight with 8 other games. The Prince Albert Raiders, a much-needed win, 7-2 over the Saskatoon Blades. 4 points each from Colin Valcourt and Leon Draisaitl in the win for the Raiders. So that gives them 73 points to draw even with Red Deer. But Brandon with a big come-from-behind victory over Regina this evening, 4-3 in overtime. Eric Roy scoring the game winner for the Wee Kings, who now move 2 ahead of Red Deer and 2 up still on Prince Albert. And Kelly McCrimmon, congrats to him as he ties the Wee Kings' career coaching victories top list, 363 with Bob Lowe's. Moose Jaw Warriors falling in Swift Current tonight, 5-4. So with that Regina points, Swift Current cannot catch them. So the Pats win the East Division, but Swift Current still battling with Kootenai for 5th. And the Ice fell in the shootout tonight to the Calgary Headmen, 5-4 the final there. Jake Vertanen, who scored in regulation, had the shootout winner. So Calgary, with those 2 points, draws even with Edmonton for the Eastern Conference lead with 101 points, where the Oil Kings will play their 2 games against Red Deer tomorrow and Sunday. And there's the battle at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. Red Deer and Prince Albert now tied for 8th with 73 points. Right now it's Swift Current and Kootenai now tied with 83 points for 5th in the East. Meanwhile, Parker Bowles is tied it for Tri-City, so this is good news for Everett right now. It's a 3-3 tie. They are in overtime in Spokane. So right now, Everett is tied with the Chiefs in points, and Kamloops with a 5-1 win over the Prince George Cougars tonight, and Seattle trailing right now through 2 periods to Portland. 3-1 is the score in Seattle, so Everett, that's good news for them as well. They came in tonight 3 points back of the Thunderbirds. Kelowna on their way to a 29th road victory, which would tie Portland's road wins record that they set just a season ago with 29. And here's the look at the Western Conference standings. Kelowna Rockets also the Scotty Munro Trophy winners this year, the top team in the league. But there's Everett sitting now with 85 points along with Spokane, hoping the Tri-City, as far as the Silvertips are concerned, can get that extra point in that game, and hoping as well that Portland can hang on against the Thunderbirds in Kent, Washington. Big win for the Silvertips tonight. They're 8th in a row. They have points in 11 straight in a 5-3 decision over Victoria. We'll wrap it up from the BC Capital next on Levin Machinery WHL on Shaw. Well, it was a potential first-round matchup between Victoria and Everett, and certainly played out as a playoff game this evening, in the Silvertips